Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to Stamford Bridge. Technically speaking, we are 168 hours late, but we're not going to mention that.
Sorry.
It's what happens sometimes, chat. You gotta understand.
Sometimes your boomer parents' internet is just not good enough to do things with.
Happens.
It's not even their fault. It's not even their fault.
And
My
so
mum's
today,
an avid gamer, so she wants good internet. She's very frustrated with it too.
we'll have a look at the Oxford Union debate titled, Is the West Right to be Suspicious of Islam?
I love that Jacob Rees-Mogg was on the other side of this. It's like, there's your fucking conservatives, ladies and gentlemen. No, the West isn't right to be suspicious of Islam, argues Jacob Rees-Mogg. It's like, okay. Like, are you...
Yeah.
I mean, that's Jacob Rees-Mogg, the aristocratic conservative, on the same side as the Green Party, Zach Polanski. No, we shouldn't be suspicious of Islam.
Well, kind of the entire debate has an almost dreamlike quality to it.
Does it? I didn't watch it.
Well, we'll watch a bit of it today. We'll watch the highlights, as it's too long to watch all of it. But one of the weird things is, like, the very premise. Should our nation be wary of foreign ideologies? Yes.
Well, I mean, especially, I mean, well, yeah, probably, but, like, definitely when they're so radically different to what we are, right? Like, nobody in the West understands, like, the metaphysics of Islam outside of people who have actually studied it, specialist scholars. Like, the average person on the street doesn't have a feel for Islam.
Mm-hmm. Not beyond the popular feel, the very, very milquetoast feel.
Oh yeah. Like not beyond the sort of like the progressive narrative. So Islam's about peace and equality. Oh, is it? Mm-hmm. Is it fucking really?
Oh, there was a news segment on Norwegian News the other day where they were shocked that the Taliban hadn't kept their promises to introduce a new and progressive gender policy in Afghanistan. It's like, oh my, you really? The Taliban is banning women from going to school?
Shocked, I say.
How could this have happened?
Okay, and it's like, the most credulous of rubes. That's what we are.
Yes,
Like,
no, literally.
Yeah. Just, okay, yeah.
Because the debate overall, so Lawrence Fox, which we'll get to, was a standout, obviously.
Yeah.
Excellent, we'll get to that. And Jacob Rees-Mogg, Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg, had a particularly tepid performance in this, in my opinion. It was very, very, very weak.
He's normally, for anyone who doesn't know, he's considered to be quite an intellectual in Britain. Mm-hmm. But I've found myself less and less impressed with him, right? So I watched, he was on the Telegraph podcast the other day, and YouTube is insistent that I watch this fucking podcast. I was painting something, my Big Mac Dakar rig, actually. And I'm in the middle of painting, and I don't want to just change it. So, like, YouTube's clocked over to this. And so I'm listening to this thing where he is talking about Jason Arday, you know, that former professor who committed suicide because he was not qualified for anything that he was given and then exposed. He was talking about him, and obviously, like, the concept of like left-wing ideology comes up, and he is just like, well, no, none of it makes any sense, and there's nothing to this. This is all just nonsense. It's like,
oh,
no.
Is that Telegraph or something interview?
Well, it was a podcast that Jacob Rees-Mogg did.
With a lady, right?
Yeah. But it's like, no. It's not just nonsense, Jason. Right? Jacob. Right? It actually all has meaning. Like when he's like, what do they mean by decolonize Cambridge? They mean take Cambridge away from white people. That's what they mean, Jacob. They're actually kind of explicit about it, and the monstrousness of what they want is what you are being fooled by to think, oh well, this must be nonsensical because the only actual straightforward explanation is horrific. And you can't bring yourself to believe that anyone could be horrific because you're a very pampered aristocrat who grew up in a very, very stable and safe place where normal things just didn't, normal things happened every day and abnormal things never happened. Like, he just did not have any clue that there was any actual thought behind all of this ideology. It's like, man, they've been thinking about this for a long fucking time. And he's just sat there going, oh, it's all just nonsense. Like, no, it's not. It's serious. You need to take it seriously.
Yeah, no, because I watched that one too, because you two really wanted me to watch it as well. And I came away with the exact same opinion that he doesn't understand any of this. He just kind of throws it away. It's like, oh, this is all silly. No. There's a lot of logic behind this. Their logic. They have a worldview that they've created for themselves. And simply just going, oh, but that's silly. It's not an argument. It doesn't stop them in any way. It doesn't convince them of anything.
And if the ideology was all purely about abstract discussion, I would agree with you. There'd be no point in studying it. But this is what the dean and dons of Cambridge University are employing to employ someone like Jason Arday as, and he was the chief of the head of Department of Sociology and Education or something like that, right? Which it's quite obscure, but also for the subject, he held the most prestigious spot in the entire world. He was basically the head of the entire discipline by virtue of his position at Cambridge. So this is not trivial, mate. This is really fucking serious.
Yes. I mean, the very fact that there exists such a position to take up in the first place shows you very, very clearly that this isn't just nonsense. This is a commonly accepted idea.
Well, it's a whole profession and discipline.
Yeah.
And they chose Jason Arday because of woke ideology, because he was black, because he had a nice story. They were like, oh, brilliant, this is going to be such a feel-good story for us.
Yep.
We've saved this black guy from, this benighted existence he had, and we're going to feel so good. I mean, literally, the professors were like, we're so lucky to have you. We're so lucky to have you. And it's like, this is weird, man. This is fucking weird.
Yep. And it really also resonates in this debate from Mog's point of view, where it really feels like he doesn't understand why this debate is happening.
Yeah. I really feel that Mog just is not the man of the hour at this point.
No, he doesn't know what's going on. He's too far out of the loop, and he hasn't ever managed to really connect to what the situation is for a very long time. He's outdated, simply put.
Yeah. As far as he's concerned, leftism is like Arthur Scargill's socialism in the 80s, right? That's what he thinks like socialism and communism is, from like 20th century ideologies. It's like, no, they've been working on themselves for decades. And now you are in defense of like a hostile, invasive religion because you don't understand that they have already got you over a barrel. That you are defending this alien civilization imposing itself on our own shows you just how far they got.
Yep. Anyways, 11-minute aspersion aside.
Well, it's important to get the groundwork done.
It is. So, again, as mentioned, chat, we'll be bouncing a bit back and forth between the highlights of this, and we're going to start about 3 minutes in.
Culture, no religion.
With the opening statements here. This timeline is going to fight me every step of the way. I can already feel it. Oh, well. Such is life.
And I will end with a call to action. This discussion should not be as fraught or as, well, frankly, you can hear it, as protested as it has been.
Oh, and that's another thing, too. So, yes, this debate actually had, protesters showing up outside, objecting to the very fact that the question, should we be wary of Islam, was raised in the first place.
Yeah, and then having such a question with Tommy Robinson in attendance. Honestly, it is genuinely surprising the whole thing managed to get going at all.
And fundamentally, the West must move back to its fundamentally liberal roots.
And that's the first thing I want to address. So, this young man's speech, of course, is basically based around the thing that we must move back to our fundamentally liberal roots to be able to discuss such matters openly. And no. That's the very problem. Our fundamentally liberal roots is why we are in this mess to begin with.
Yeah, it's liberalism that put us here, bro. I don't think more liberalism is going to get us out.
Yeah. Like, the reason why right now you are in a situation where a debate at the Oxford Union is being mass protested by hooligans is because you let them in. It's because you allowed them to be there, and because you gave them a greater microphone than everybody else, to the point where, indeed, where the very idea that a debate needs to be held on the question, should we be suspicious of foreign ideologies?
What would William Gladstone say? If you want to talk about liberalism, I think Gladstone had some pretty sharp words about Islam, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. And again, it's the very idea as well. Like, okay, you are debating now if you should be wary about a fundamentally anti-liberal ideology. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to our liberalism. See, well, I mean, liberalism should tell you, like Christopher Hitchens style, and this is why Hitchens opposed it, because he recognized it as the anti-liberal ideology it was. Mm-hmm. But if your liberalism now includes Islam, what does liberalism even fucking mean?
Yeah. Like, we have extended liberalism to this tent that includes absolutely every idea on earth. And worse still, we've included it in such a way as to give them the right of way over liberalism.
Yes. So, okay.
That was the opening point, and then we'll skip a little bit further.
Makes explicit, actionable demands on the governance of the state. This system includes a system of taxation called, and I'm aware I'm going to butcher this, but jizya, whereby non-Muslims are in Muslim lands, as envisaged by the Quran, required to pay a tax for the extension of freedom of belief and the right to autonomy of life.
Well, this is his argument that Islam isn't liberal, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, that's not freedom of belief.
Yeah,
it's the right for toleration of your own religion as minority second-class status. And they'll do it. I mean, like, you've got like massive churches in Qatar and stuff like that, Mm-hmm. So it's not that Muslim countries won't do this. They absolutely will do this. You just have to know your place as second-class citizens.
Yeah, there are synagogues and churches in Iran, But this is all because they are allowed to exist. They are tolerated so long as they pay the tax and show correct deference.
But also, and the most important thing, it's because the non-Muslim minorities have no political rights. You are not enfranchised. You could never vote. You'll never vote your way out of Islam, for example.
Yeah. And the idea here that, okay, how do we demonstrate that this isn't liberal? Well, they don't tolerate other beliefs. Okay.
Yeah. But it's literally a mafia. You got paid to have your beliefs tolerated.
Yeah, because we could then immediately ask the opposite, right? What if in England, as a law, was like, okay, if you're a Muslim, you're going to pay an extra 10% tax for your religion. It would obviously and immediately cause mass outrage.
But it's a good idea because it's nothing they wouldn't do to us.
No, exactly.
I'm not even joking.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Turnabout is fair play, right?
Yeah.
We talk a lot about how we should be tolerant, how we should be accepting of beliefs, and I'm sure that
we talk far too much about those things.
Yeah.
It is easy to talk about being tolerant. It is difficult to talk about hating people who are tolerant.
Yeah, do you have the courage to hate tolerance itself? I'm just asking questions.
Presentations of Islamic law will be presented when we examine concepts like the jizya or specific jurisprudence regarding apostasy. We need not trade quotes from
Scripture. This is a well-trodden ground, to be honest. Everyone knows.
So he bases this out, and the funny thing is, so he makes the assumption, of course, that everybody will be quoting scripture and quibbling over the exact meanings, and yes, that is like the definition of the opposition's argument throughout this. It's no true Scotsman.
Not
Islam
real
isn't
though.
that.
Yeah, just because it keeps manifesting this, people just keep making the same fucking mistake for thousands of years. I don't know why.
But it's not Islam, bro. That's not real Islam. Listen, Islam is my definition of Islam.
Yeah. I particularly love it when a Westerner says that. It's like, no, those Muslims don't understand what real Islam is. Real Islam is libtardism. So how is it? Okay.
Yep. And repeatedly, the proposition side continues to argue, like, okay, let's not argue over points of scripture because it's fucking pointless. We are sitting in a room in Oxford debating Islamic scripture. Fuck.
Yeah.
There are four
Islamic schools of jurisprudence that have debated these points for 1,000 years. What's the point in us doing it?
Yes. Like the very idea that some guy in our palace, not a cave anymore, in Afghanistan will go, shit, right, Oxford has updated their thinking on Islam.
Yeah, did you see this 20-year-old kid in Oxford had a great point on Islam?
Yes.
I just don't think it's happening, bro.
We're going to have to adapt.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that they keep trying to push back past this point and go to, okay, but what does Islam actually do? And of course, it's completely rejected by the other side.
Just a quick thing on that, right? There's a kind of interesting effect that is when the libtard side are like, well, Jacob Rees-Mogg is like, well, my interpretation of Islam is this and that and the other, and it's like, okay, it kind of implies what we need to do is set up a kind of Islamic version of the Church of England and have an official doctrine and position on Islam that we literally would, think about like the way that we treat Catholics back in the day. We would have to punish and persecute non-adherent Muslims to whatever doctrinal interpretation of Islam we came up with. So like we would have to have literally our own interpretation of Islam that actually demands it. And therefore it would actually demand that the multicultural state imposes this doctrinal interpretation on the Muslim population. And if it can be shown that Islam actually does forbid alcohol for Muslims, we would have to have a law that said Muslims are not allowed to buy alcohol.
Yeah.
That would be something we would have to do. We would have to have specific laws for Muslims. Yes. In the same way that we allow halal and kosher slaughter. Like we would have to have these laws because the state has said, no, our interpretation is going to be the interpretation of Islam we all agree on. So, well, okay, I guess it can be, but like fucking hell, you are opening a can of worms there.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like we are going to basically have to create modern day laws surrounding things like heresy and conformity to religion, and then inform those. Otherwise, we go like, okay, but you're not a Muslim then.
Yes, and the secular multicultural state will actually have to take on the aspect of an Islamic state. Mm-hmm. It will have to, like the thing is about the, Islamic Republic of X and Y and whatnot, the Taliban and whatnot in Afghanistan, like they have, like, the Taliban are Sunni Muslims, the Iranians are Shia Muslims. They have doctrinal differences between one another, but they both run Islamic republics. Right, and they do this because they want to enforce a particular doctrinal interpretation. We would have to choose one and we are the Islamic United Kingdom of Great Britain, and this is our doctrinal interpretation.
Uh-huh.
Mad. Absolutely mad.
We can debate the more essential tension between a political doctrine that legally categorizes citizens by their faith status and a Western liberal system that mandates equality under law regardless of belief.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, don't feel like I'm getting a lot of that either, to be honest.
Take jizya. It is not fundamentally liberal. And is it not fundamentally liberal and Western to believe in discriminatory taxes against those of different faiths that are a requirement to be guaranteed the most basic of what we in the West would call human rights, such as the right to even lights up? Feel free.
Yeah, but I'm against human rights. Human rights are destroying us.
taxes. It's that in the Islamic State, there's only one level of citizenship. Non-Muslims are the citizens. Muslims are the subjects of the state. We have obligations to the state that non-Muslims are not subject to. And if you go to Pakistan, for example, they have some aspects of Islamic law there. In the constitution, Muslims are not allowed to drink alcohol. But Pakistani Christians are actually allowed to drink alcohol and follow their own practices. So if anything, an Islamic state is more oppressive to Muslims than it is to non-Muslims.
Say? What did I fucking say? How did I call it?
Because there, of course, comes again the thing, where the argument then becomes, okay, but you're allowed your religion in these countries, and you don't have to follow Islam in these countries. And a lot of that is theoretically, technically correct, even if the potential consequences of not following these rules may be severe. But the point here is, if you are a Christian in Iran, you will never be allowed to be like, okay, I'm going to create the Christian political party with the explicit aim to overthrow Islam.
No. And don't get me wrong, I don't even blame them for not allowing that. You know, like, okay, fair enough. I mean,
I wish we did the same. It's an entirely sensible thing to do.
Yeah. Why we don't follow suit is the question.
Mm-hmm. We should adopt this point of Islam, in fact. This seems like a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
And this then also comes on the idea here, though. Citizens and subjects of the state. So this is a very, very, shall we say, charitable interpretation of the situation.
Yeah. Like,
well, to be fair, that's his position to make. But
yeah.
Like, you are, in essence, a subject, then. They are citizens of Islam, who are subject of the state, and therefore part of the state, and then there are those who are under the state proper, those who are citizens and subjects of the state, those who are underneath that again.
This is another interesting issue, which is religion in 7th century Arabia was actually a tool of political organization, right? This is why you've got lots of heretic prophets who themselves were claiming to be inspired by God or whatever, things. And they were treating themselves like they were acting as if they were starting political movements. And it's a really weird thing, but obviously, the only thing they thought about in those day and ages was religion. And this is why Muhammad's constantly going on about them and calling them hypocrites and liars.
So what you're saying is fundamentally there is a discrimination there between Muslim and non-Muslims. This is but one.
Yes. And that is what he's saying. There is a fundamental discrimination. The argument is just whether or not how negative it is and whether or not it is negative.
But the point being is, Islam is an expressly political and worldly religion. Mm-hmm. Like it takes the world and what happens in it very seriously. It isn't like Christianity. It is not interested in your afterlife. Well, it is interested in the afterlife, but it is also it comes from a position of political power. Right, that's how Islam was conceived, and so it cares about a bunch of stuff that Christianity just doesn't care about. There's no render unto Caesar in Islam. There's render unto the Caliph.
So yeah, next point of interest. As I continue to struggle with the timeline.
Be compatible with a secular order based on equality and rights. How can a religious order that imposes subjugation as morality be compatible with a liberal democratic order? Members of the House, if you, like me, can't answer those questions, then vote for this motion. Go on.
On every matter of British values pulled last year, democracy, equality before the law, loyalty.
Oh, God. Her voice sped up is a nightmare. Let me slow down a little bit again.
Yeah, I can't understand a word of that.
No, me neither. All right, let me get to round about the point again. I'm sorry, chat, this is going to be a little finicky. This timeline, I should have just opened VLC or something, because this timeline is a little
The initial 5 pillars
pain in the
polls
butthole.
pointed 66.
A little pain in the butthole.
A religion but a political competitor. Finally, I wouldn't leave you a point. It is my choice as it is your choice to be suspicious of Islam or not. But let's not act like we really treat it that way. The West has got into this unfortunate habit of thinking tolerance means protection, avoidance of scrutiny, and avoidance of uncomfortable conversations.
Yes, and this is literally the bigotry of low expectations. This is an exact same thing, by the way, that killed Jason Arde. Like, I hold the university more responsible for his death than the media ever did, because he should never have been put in that position. And he was obviously a fraud who got in a position which he could not handle. He was given responsibilities he could not handle, and he was given expectations he could not handle, and that obviously crushed him in turn. And that doesn't excuse his actions either, mind you. It just means to point out that there's a lot of very astute, supposedly, professors that should have known better. But we view, in essence, Islam and virtually every other religion as merely some sort of sand-dwelling savage superstition. Literally, as superstition. And therefore we go, well, how quaint. You may discuss your sand nonsense over there. We'll tolerate you, of course. You can do whatever you want. And then we kind of look at each other like, oh, those silly savages. But the problem is, the savages aren't complete morons. They're going to go away. We get to do whatever we want. We get to institute our own courts. We get to institute our own tribunals. We get to run everything the way we want, create our own parallel society within yours with the explicit aim to denigrate and deconstruct it. Well, I guess we will then.
To be clear, faith is a choice. I have faith. I'm certainly not an atheist. But I expect, and nor should anyone expect, any accommodation, nor safe space. The freedom for faith incurs the liability of criticism. If truly we shouldn't be suspicious of Islam, then why the visceral backlash that you can hear right now to this debate? Why do more Muslims not see this debate how our president does? Look at the 5 pillars poll as an example of how the Muslim world sees this very important debate. What about how the honourable gentleman sitting right there sees it as an opportunity to defend his religion? The UK, feel free.
The initial 5 pillars poll pointed 66% of Muslims were supportive of this debate going through.
I like that number too. So that means that something along the lines of 30% were not supportive of a debate in England, in a supposedly fundamentally liberal society that they have been raised in and supposedly accepted. Now more 40. Oh. Sargon, you still there? No, I think we lost our...
Sorry, I had myself muted. Sorry. Yeah, well, no, 33%, 34%, if 66%.
Yeah, 44. Right?
Yeah. So, but that's millions.
Yeah, that's millions. And again, those are British Muslims. Those are the people who have been raised in England.
Yeah, with tolerance.
Yes. And if that's still basically a 50-50 split, doesn't that prove the point that Islam is fundamentally incompatible?
It's 2/3, isn't it? But it's still not great. Like, you know, if a third of people were like child molesters or something, you're like, oh shit, you know, we got to do something about millions of child molesters. Well, we got to do something about the millions of Muslims who just have no tolerance of us discussing things about Islam. And the thing is, in a way, I can kind of see where they're coming from. It's like, well, why would we want you to discuss this?
Yeah.
Like, why would we want the kuffar to tell us about Islam and what they don't agree with? And like every religion knows that it can be picked apart by a red atheist, right? Every religion is aware that there are incongruities in it. I mean, Islam has got a couple of really glaring ones as well. And they were aware of it. I mean, this is what Salman Rushdie in the Satanic Verses was about. Like, Salman Rushdie had written a novel about the quote-unquote Satanic Verses, where Muhammad admits that he was being whispered to by Satan at one point or something like that. And so basically what that does, the problem with that is it throws all of Islam into doubt. Because if it's all Muhammad getting whispered to in the ear, and at one point he was whispered to by Satan, but oh no, all the rest were the angel Gabriel, trust me, bro. Well, how the fuck can you be sure of that?
How can you be sure of that? How can you tell the difference?
Well, exactly. And so that throws all of Islam into doubt. And so it's just like, no wonder you don't want to have a debate about that. Why would you want to have a debate about that?
Also, chat, we're at 321 likes. Let's see if we can get to 700 today as well. Remember to like the stream if you enjoy the
700,
commentary.
we want 1,000. Chat, are you not listening to the incredible high quality discussion that we are having about this? We're better than these fucking people at the Oxford Union, and you haven't liked the stream yet. There's a reason I keep getting deplatformed from the Oxford Union, by the way. They've invited me 3 times now, and 3 times I've been cancelled.
Really?
Yes.
Jesus.
I know. So, chat, like that fucking stream, because this is personal.
There you go. This is personal, chat. Say 17 minutes.
Mr. Chair, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I am a history student. I love digging up the past, though not as much as some people who have studied every terrorist attack since 9/11 and yet somehow missed the 12 centuries of Islamic history that came before.
Which was 12 centuries of constant expansion and violence and warfare. But hey, details.
How did the people in the Maghreb become Arabs just out of interest? Just out of interest. It's quite a long way from Arabia, isn't it?
Or Spain, for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, they're not Arabic anymore. But like, how do people in Pakistan and India end up speaking Arabic? Again, quite a long way from Arabia.
Yeah, a student of history.
Invasion? What was the Islamic invasion of India like? Was it pleasant? Was it nice? No, it's fucking awful. Like the entire religion is built on, destroy the polytheists, destroy the pagans, and then they arrive at an entire continent full of pagans. Because remember, like at the time, the Zoroastrians and the Christians were the world religions in the Persian and Roman empires, right? And the Muslims were like, yeah, these are people of the book. There are some pagans in Arabia, but there aren't that many fucking pagans in Arabia. We can stomp them down. And then they arrive at India, a continent that is still, and then those times would be hundreds of millions of pagans. And it's like, oh my God, they must have fucking pitched a fit. Just apoplectic. So, all right, we've arrived in India. What are the people here like? They're all idol worshippers, sir. What? It'd be like fucking Broflovski from South Park. Just you can imagine how fucking furious they were, and the savagery the Muslims showed towards the Indians is a good demonstration of it. Like they were awful to the Indians.
It's like digging up the past. Like, listen, the Islamic expansions into Europe didn't end until around about 1680. And even then, it still continued for quite some time, but that was the point at which the tides finally turned.
Yes. I mean, we've got, we could just pick any number of examples of Barbary slave trade, the fucking Ottoman Janissaries, there are just so many things we could say.
I mean, the Barbary slave trade wasn't ended until, the 1800s?
Yeah, the Americans had to go and do it.
Yeah, literally, the Americans, the first instance of don't touch the boats.
Yeah. In Rule Britannia, Britons will never be slaves. That line is about the Barbary pirates.
But since we are doing history, let me give you Cato the Elder. Since the West likes rooting itself in its Greco-Roman traditions, Cato ended every speech in the Roman Senate on grain prices or foreign policy with the same line: Carthago delenda est. Carthage must be destroyed. He never argued it or proved it, he just repeated it.
Also, this That is an awful frame to pause on. I'm sorry.
You ignorant.
But also, okay, so a student of history doesn't know why Rome went to war with Carthage.
Yeah, I say this as one of Hannibal's biggest fucking simps, right? That there's a really good reason why the Romans were like, yeah, we actually don't like Carthage much, and maybe we should destroy it.
You know, the Carthaginian-Roman wars were probably some of the most unavoidable in human fucking history, okay?
Also, some of the most brutal for the time.
Yes.
Like, hundreds of thousands of Romans died just at sea.
It was utterly self-evident to the Romans and the Carthaginians that they were two civilizations locked in inevitable existential conflict. They knew it.
Yep.
And so when he's like, Cato the Elder didn't prove anything, bitch, they're literally locked in existential conflict over control of the Mediterranean. Like, they cannot coexist.
Cato the Elder must have fought in the Punic Wars. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Trick or treat.
In fact,
Can I smell your feet?
yes. He was even the man who came up with the strategies against Hannibal.
Yeah. He was born in 234. Hannibal invaded in, 216? And he died in 149. Yeah.
And again, like...
yeah, youth in the Punic Wars.
A history of student is here explaining to us that the Roman Carthage went to war for no reason. No argumentation was made. No substantive claims were made. The Romans one day just like, we have to genocide the Carthaginians.
Yeah, Cato the Elder's just sat in his villa, sleeping in the afternoon sun. He starts and, whoa, we've got to genocide Carthage. It's like, why? What have they done? Nothing. We just have to kill them all. I have to make sure we kill them all. Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, Cato was 18 when he joined the Roman army and fought Hannibal. He served in Capua in 214 BC. At the age of 20, he was a military tribune. He was literally in the forefront as a young man, fighting age man, during Hannibal's invasion of Italy. Like, it's not out of nothing. Like, Cato was like, you know, I don't care for those Carthaginians.
Yeah.
He would have had dozens and dozens of friends and family members killed by Hannibal in battle. Dozens of them. Like, Rome, like, was he present at Cannae?
I believe he was.
Oh, was he?
Are you ready to write this yellow
I think so.
He was definitely there at the Battle of the Metaurus.
It's been too long since I broached up on my Punic fucking war, but
Yeah, I'm checking the Wikipedia now. I don't think he was at Cannae.
and I also want to point out here, like the whole like, oh, we didn't know why the Romans and the Carthaginians went to war. Like, we are now talking about not the first Punic War, not the second Punic War. We are speaking of the third Punic War.
I mean, in Carthage's defense, it wasn't really responsible for the Third Punic War. It actually was Cato and Rome that was responsible for the Third Punic War. But they'd already had two Punic Wars prior to this, and they were awful for Rome. Like, Rome really had a problem with the Carthaginians. Carthage was a mighty and powerful empire. Like, it was capable of raising huge numbers of men, marshalling massive amounts of resources, commanding a gargantuan fleet. Like, Carthage was a it has an empire. It was a massive problem for Rome. So to be like, well, you know, the Romans were just meanie heads, and they just went and killed the Carthaginians for no reason. And like I said, I say this as a Carthage simp. I like Carthage, but no, the Romans were not unjustified in fighting the Carthaginians.
This was the third conflict. And again, like I repeat, she's like, oh, Cato never explained why Carthage had to be destroyed during the third war with Carthage. I think he moved beyond the explanation part at that point.
Again, what she's saying is, honestly, right? So the first and second Punic Wars to Rome are like the first and second World Wars to us.
Yes.
Right? They were titanic total wars where everyone in the civilization took part in some way, right? Everyone was a part of these wars. And so, like, what she's saying is, well, he never explained in the same way that Winston Churchill never explained why we have to defeat Hitler. No, of course he didn't. Of course, we don't have to explain, not Winston Churchill maybe, but after World War II, they were never explaining why Hitler was bad. No, they don't. They don't explain afterwards why Hitler's bad. They just he's the guy we went to war with. I mean, come on.
Yes, we've moved past the point. Again, this wasn't some random thing that Romans suddenly figured out. Oh, yes, we got to do this. And Dominus, all of them? Yes. The women and the children too? Yes. Salt the fucking earth? Dominus. That's a bit harsh.
It's so funny, man. We just don't know why.
We have no idea. What could possibly have inspired the Romans to do this?
Yeah, one day they were just fuck those Carthaginians.
The Carthaginians must have been really surprised when they were brutally invaded like that so suddenly.
Yeah, they were just, picking daisies.
Yep. Oh. Let's see. Oh, and also probably one of the most memed on moments. Let's see here.
At the Oxford Union. And given how many times a Muslim candidate has stood between you and the position you actually wanted here in the Union, perhaps tonight's motion... Perhaps tonight's motion is less about the West's relationship with Islam and more about yours. Stephen Yaxley Lennon, known to his hooligans as Tommy Robinson. Stephen, there is a crowd outside rioting against you tonight, and without the protection and generosity of a Muslim Palestinian president and a mostly South Asian executive committee, you would be quite literally cooked.
Oh, that shows him! Should we be suspicious of Islam? Well, they're trying to kill you right now. No,
yes,
you should.
Yes, but due to my forbearance, you are not currently being lynched, sir.
But I also like that, this is personal, isn't it? Because the Muslims are taking all the positions of power and you're not getting them as a straight white Englishman. Mm-hmm. That's another reason. The nepotism, the cronyism, that's another reason to be a bit suspicious. Good point.
Yep.
Great fucking point.
Soon followed by, there's a raging mob outside baying for your blood, and I have prevented them from taking you. Okay.
Incredible statement. Incredible. What I love about this, is they can't help but essentially sort of brag. No, we're going to kill you. We're going to kill you. For now, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you, but we're going to kill you.
To demonstrate my tolerance, I shall not have my mob tear you apart.
Yeah. That is just... I mean, literally, it's exemplary example of why we should probably be a little bit suspicious here.
Well, it's a wonderful example of how we haven't been anywhere near suspicious enough, because she clearly understands she is in the position of power here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so again, at the Oxford Union, the Muslims are keeping the Englishmen out of positions of influence and authority, even as the Muslim rioters are outside, and in her words, the only thing stopping them from barging in there and murdering the Englishmen speaking out against Islam are the Muslims.
It's her own forbearance. How dare you criticize me for being so kind to you? She's the fucking Persian king of kings, honestly.
Yes. This is the speech that Napoleon gave atop horseback in a mosque to the Muslims.
Yeah.
It is literally the speech of the conqueror to the conquered.
Yes.
So, on the whole topic of should you be suspicious of Islam, not now. It's too fucking late.
Way too late for that. Looks like the barbarians are inside the gates.
Yeah, it's it's literally a little bit too late there, buddy. But nice for bringing up the point.
That's mad, isn't it?
God, again, like, these are prepared speeches. So it's not like this was an off-the-cuff thing or just to be funny. Like, she understands very well what she's writing there from a position of power and privilege over the guests.
Yeah, and to threaten your own fucking guests. I mean, you invited him, bitch. Jesus Christ.
Another little time skip again.
But it is interesting how they can't help but revel in their power over you.
Well, I mean, one, she's a woman. Two, she's an incredibly cocky woman, as demonstrated by, I'm a student of history. Now, let me tell you why we don't know why the Romans and Carthage fought. And so obviously, like, when she realizes that, she wants to rub it in their face.
Yeah. Yeah. It's totally true.
Opposition.
First of all, I'd like to say I'd much rather be watching the England game than in here tonight.
Also, yeah, Tommy Robinson's speech was also not great as well, I will say. Mm-hmm. Clearly not quite in his element in this particular arena.
Well, this is hardly a normal environment for him.
Yeah.
I've simply come here because of the commitment to free speech that Arwa had for this event. I know you have totally opposite views to me, but I know that people may step into the field of inviting me somewhere without realising what it's going to face. So I'm fully aware of the backlash you would have faced, but I congratulate you on your defence of free speech, and that's the reason why I've come tonight.
Yeah. And this too. I think this is a very, very, very telling thing to say. So, Tommy Robinson's position is basically, it would have been entirely normal just a few decades ago. And yet now he needs to explain to them almost as if they were unaware. Like, no, listen.
Yeah.
When I come to a place, there's going to be a violent reaction from your side.
Yeah.
And they cannot fathom of that. Like, it's not a thing they understand. They don't understand when you show up to a place, you might actually meet severe opposition or be arrested for any slight transgression as you are targeted by the state.
And not just the state, by the agents of the ideology as well. Like, these are just random people who are students at the place, I assume, who are like, no, we're empowered now to go and kill the bad man. We're allowed to go kill the bad man. Like, everyone around us has told us he's a bad man, and now we're allowed to go kill him. And it's only because of the grace of the Muslim woman who's in charge that we're not killing him. But otherwise, we'd kill him. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, that's not civil society.
No, she is allowing Tommy Robinson to speak, and she is allowing him to remain unmolested.
Mad.
I'd also like to congratulate Aisha on her first great speech, and I'm sorry that your family aren't here today to have watched that, but it wasn't my supporters that have attacked them outside. It's not my supporters who are causing a rabble or smashing the place up and attacking police officers. It's not supporters on our side of the debate either. It's supporters on your side of the debate who are out there causing mayhem. Yeah? So before talking about Islam...
Good point.
I'd love to believe what Jacob and the others on this panel believe, that we shouldn't be suspicious of Islam. Jacob, there's 480 Muslims who live in your constituency. 0.5%. You probably can't find a Muslim. There's 3 mosques.
Good point.
And that will be very much so reflected in Jacob Rees-Mogg's speech as well, which is all the way at the end, so we won't get to it for a while, but his entire speech has nothing to do with modern Islam. He brings up examples from 1,000 years ago, and like, this is why we shouldn't be suspicious.
Yeah, Mogg's experience of Islam is nil.
Mm-hmm. Main one being in Bath University. I'm from Luton Town. We have 80,000 Muslims, 45 mosques, 33% of the population. So I asked myself, why would a non-Muslim be telling any of us that we shouldn't be suspicious of Islam? Well, of course, Jacob does not have to live with the consequences of his own disastrous government of the Conservative Party and their policies, beliefs only the elite can afford to hold.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Again, Jacob Rees-Mogg is sitting there in opposition because he has no skin in this game at absolutely all. None.
Yeah. Tommy gets attacked wherever he goes by Muslims.
Yeah.
So to Islam, First, should we, the West, be suspicious of it? I want to be clear what Islam is, because it's not what any of you say it is. It's not what I say it is. It's not what we wish it to be. And it's not what your friendly local imam or your taxi driver or Mr. Andalusia decides it is. Islam is defined in the Quran. Muslims that believe the Quran to be the word of Allah, written in an eternal book in heaven and revealed to Muhammad in the 7th century.
And this is the important point of this little clip here. Islam is not what these fine people in Oxford determine it to be. And it sure as shit isn't what Jacob Rees-Mogg determines for it to be.
Yeah. And this is a great point as well. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, Tommy's weak on this, he's weak on that, but he's very strong on Islam.
Yeah. And this is the central point that, again, emerges again and again in this debate. Listen, you people here in Oxford, in these fancy halls, you are not the authorities on Islam. The authorities on Islam are literally the baying horde outside.
Yeah.
They're the authority. The majority of Muslims in the Arab world are the authorities on this. And no amount of pretty debate in the halls of Oxford is ever going to convince any of them.
Yeah.
33, 40.
President.
As per discussions with previous speakers, we did agree that we would take points of information from fellow speaker, guests, and audience members. If you can respect that as part of a constructive debate, that would be very much appreciated.
Thank the President for that point of order. Mr. Robinson, I think the idea that the President's putting across is...
Hear the question first.
Take a question every now and then. Take a question every now and then, please. Thank you.
Can we at least agree killing people because they are homosexuals is never okay? It
Really asking a lot there, Tommy.
Yep.
was never okay then, and it's not okay now. Now,
bro, what's it say in the Quran?
I'll have to listen, won't I? I'll see how this works.
Where does it say in the Quran or the teaching of the Prophet Muhammad that someone who is homosexual or gay should be executed?
You don't need to convince me, mate. You need to convince the 8 Islamic countries that are killing them, the people who are being thrown off rooftops. Go have your argument with Hamas, go have your argument with ISIS. You don't need to convince me.
What do you mean, where does it say? Like, it says with what to do with the people of Lot, or Lut, in the Quran. Like, the Arabic, the word is the same word, but you can tell there's an accent. So for the Hebrews, the people of Lot, as in the people in Sodom and Gomorrah. For the Arabs, it's the people of Lut. And Muhammad says, deal with the people of Lut as God did with Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yep. Which is to say, rain flaming rocks down upon them.
Yeah. It's actually really crystal clear in the Quran. Which is it's the reason why it was something like the Pew study survey found that like 99% of Muslims agreed with it. And it's like, right, okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, and again, like Tommy's point here is very simple and very elegant, and he makes it constantly because it's a good one. You don't have to convince Tommy Robinson about your interpretation of Islamic scripture and how it's better. No, absolutely. The interpretation of the Oxford guest of Islamic scripture, which is we shouldn't stone gays to death. Yeah, that is a superior interpretation, but it's not shared by the majority of Islam.
Yeah, it's literally illegal in most Muslim countries to be gay.
Yes. And again, that is based directly on, as you say, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, which was destroyed by burning rocks.
Yeah.
And when you are then asking them to treat the homosexuals as he did that city, it means killing them. It's that simple. It's all hiding behind verbal interpretation.
Yeah, it's not cunning. Like, there's no sleight of hand in that. It's quite straightforward.
And even if it were not, yet again, like the very simple point that he's making is this is the interpretation of the majority of Islam. And again, arguing that your version of Islam is better, we can all agree on that. But it's not held by the majority of Islamists, not even in England.
Yeah. Don't disagree with you at all, bro, but
reality. A bit of a larger. We are going to skip practically all of this guy's debate. Okay, so this guy's speech as well. Very, very, very zealous Islamist. His entire position, which I find interesting, is basically I did good things as a Muslim. I did good things, and therefore that is Islam, whilst fully rejecting the things other people do in the name of Islam.
That's not Islam, right? Okay, got it. Good to know.
And we keep harping on about this point because it's like the central point throughout this entire debate, and both sides are simply talking straight past each other. And again, the side for the proposition is making the best argument, simply put that, again, I get that your version of Islam is better, but that doesn't appear to be Islam.
Yeah, you're good in spite of Islam. Oh, well done. To be honest, that is impressive. But like, all this is the no true Scotsman.
Yes.
So I'm the one true Muslim. So, okay, great. They don't agree. Now what are we going to do about them?
Chess workers, doctors, nurses, charity care sector workers, which Islam is overrepresented in those areas. Never does he want to make the connection between Muslims doing good deeds and Islam. It's only, no, I told you already. Never does he make the connection between Muslims doing good deeds and Islam. In fact, actually, when you ask these doctors, nurses, care workers, charity sector workers, why do you do it? They'll say, because my religion tells me to be a good person. My religion tells me to be...
Okay, that's great. That's amazing. Because every time one does something bad, then that's also the fault of Islam. You fucking moron. Yeah, okay, we can credit you with being doctors and nurses. Now we can also credit you with terror attacks. You are a fucking retard.
This is the thing, right? Okay, nobody credits them for this. No, that's being a normal fucking citizen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, but we're doctors too. Okay.
There are doctors in non-Muslim countries. How do you explain that?
There are going to be good people who happen to be Muslims. Nobody is disputing this. But to then go like, oh, well, all of our good deeds override the bad. No, if they are all done in the name of Islam, that is the point. The guy who shouts Allahu Akbar as he blows himself up is no less Muslim than the guy who shouts it whilst he's handing out packages.
Exactly. And I'm not even saying most Muslims aren't good. Sure, I fucking hope they are, you know? But, like, you've got to accept that if you can credit the good deeds that you do to Islam, others are quite capable of crediting the bad deeds that they do to Islam as well. And this is something that we have to be able to address. And if we can't address it, then it can't ever get any better, can it?
No. And again, the argument he makes is basically, well, I know Muslims who are good members of society. Okay, that's the baseline expectation, though.
It's not. Pat yourselves on the fucking back, boys.
And, you know, okay, good job. You've done well. I'm sure you've contributed wonderfully to the society, etc. But this is yet again just what we assume. Okay? Like, I am a peaceful citizen. Good. Thank you.
Bro, I'm normal in spite of being a Muslim. Oh, okay. That's it. That's fascinating.
That is the argument. Why shouldn't we be suspicious of Islam? Well, I'm not a monster.
Yeah. Slow
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well done. Good job.
Now, let's return to the point.
Perspective acknowledged, but he stood alone whilst the train continued to hurtle towards us because we didn't want to upset anybody. It is an entirely natural and positive human instinct to be suspicious of many things. From teaching our children not to get in cars with strangers, to friends checking in on each other when one is going on a date with a new person for the first time, suspicion is healthy. It sparks in every single sinew of our being. It is the product of generational caution in pursuit of survival. It's central to our very fundamentalist of instincts. It isn't prejudice, it's prudence. Suspicion isn't hatred either. It's pattern recognition. And I would like to make it clear at this point, Arwa, I would like to thank you so much for inviting us to have this debate. And I know you've struggled so much with people trying to cancel you. And I know exactly what that feels like. So thank you so much.
Who was trying to cancel you, love?
I think I would like to make it very clear that I am not here to express suspicions of individual Muslims. at all. There are many Muslims, including within my own family, who I love deeply. And as a Christian, I'm commanded to love my neighbor and to pray for my enemy. It is my most strongly held belief on this planet that every single human life is sacred and all lives matter.
The nasty words, the bad words.
Are you ready to
But this also then presents the opposite side of the point we just had as well. Like, you know, you have the good things. Like, this is not unique to Islam. It is not unique to Christianity. You have indeed good things, yet we should still be allowed to be suspicious of these things.
Yeah, it's also, like, I agree, you could have, there are, like, pacifist interpretations, but there's also a warrior interpretation. And by forbidding us to be critical of any aspect of Islam, you forbid us from being critical of the warrior interpretation of Islam. There isn't a warrior interpretation of Christianity, which is why it took 400 years for the Christians to go, look, we've got to start fighting back. We can't carry on like this. We have to start fighting back. And Pope Pius, was it? No, Urban II, was literally like going against doctrine. Like, he couldn't get the Eastern Church to agree to help him. They were like, no, this is not Christian. We will not go on a holy war for Jesus. He wouldn't have this. And so it was left to the Catholics to go on the holy war against the Muslims. After, again, 400 years of aggression. It's actually kind of maddening, this discussion, to be honest.
Yeah, okay, so this is the First Crusade. Pope Urban II, indeed, he went through significant troubles to try and find a theological justification for the Crusades. And there wasn't any.
No.
It could not be based on the Christian teachings, but it was forced by a question of, well, reality, simply put.
Expediency.
Yeah, expediency.
Question. Fire
We don't fight back, we all get killed, bro.
Yeah. Because again, the one of the fundamental differences here is that Christianity is the religion of the slave, whereas Islam is very much so, fundamentally, the religion of the conqueror.
Well, specifically, the religion of the 7th century Arabian warlord. There are lots of different kinds of conquerors, and Islam has a particularly tribal and kind of, to be honest, primitive outlook. Like, the Islamic view of paradise is actually kind of funny. It's like, oh, you'll be living in a nice, well-watered garden, and there'll be loads of virgins there for you to rape. And it's like, that doesn't that sounds like the sort of thing that a tribal warlord promises his troops the evening before battle. Like, that doesn't actually sound like something I actually want. Like, for me, heaven would be, living forever with my wife and children in, I guess a water garden would be nice, I suppose. A nice summer's day. That'd be fucking heaven to me. But like having loads of whores and, virgins who become virgins again that night and whatnot. Dude, I'm not looking for that. Because I'm not a 7th century Arab who lives in a desert.
Strangely enough. Let me take a brief moment for some super chats before we do the highlight of probably the entire debate. As Lauren Fox had quite the thing.
Have people click like? Are we at 1,000 likes yet?
We are not at 1,000 likes yet. We are only at 566.
Cats, what is going on? These are absolute pearls of wisdom. Do you know how much reading I had to do, and I'm sure Arch had to do, to know this much about Islam off the cuff? Like, I didn't do any fucking studying for this stream. I've already done the studying. I already know. Like, do you guys know about the Qadarites? Shall I tell you about the Qadarites? Like, there's loads of stuff about Islam I know, and I never get to talk about it, and you haven't even gotten us to 1,000 likes yet. Honestly, chat. Disappointed.
That's a crime. But somebody who's at least definitely doing his part is the Inner Circle, who sends not one, but 2 red super chats, one after the other. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, that does make up for it. But click like.
Incredibly generous. As a Christian, I am fully supportive of a modern Christian crusade.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an atheist still, but like I'm very sympathetic to Christianity, and I'm frustrated.
And as he said, as someone who lives in the largest Muslim country, native Indonesians, from my observations, are really good, decent human beings, but that is because they are not very observant of Islam. They are good in spite of being Muslim, because most don't treat it as the word of God.
Yeah.
Then again, like, this is very much so in spite of. See, you can obviously levy countless critiques against Christianity and any religion because they are based fundamentally on words and writings given thousands of years ago. They're not going to live up to modern sensibilities.
Well, just hang on, this is a quick thing. Remember, most of the time, for most of humanity's life, morality didn't really change very much, right? Like, so, for example, a Christian in the 5th century would have been basically the same, morally speaking, as a Christian in the 15th century. Like, as far as they were concerned, this was the word of God, and this is how things were supposed to be. And it's only in modern times, since basically Kant, where we've decided, no, we actually get to be the arbiters of our own morality, and we get to make up morality as we go along. And it's only in now, basically, in the last like 200 years, that we've decided, yeah, no, this is all totally normal, actually.
Uh-huh. But there are obvious parts of Islam that just don't fit in with a normal, accepting, and good society. Like the very fundamental fact that within the Quran there exist rules for how to treat conquered people. Christianity didn't feel the need to write that down anywhere.
Well, it had no concept of conquering people in the name of Christianity.
Uh-huh. That wasn't really a problem it concerned itself with.
Well, it was literally a pacifist religion, as you say. It was the religion that began with the slaves.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is, it's not even about like an objective right and wrong. It's about what we want. What do we want? Do we want this religion? Do we think this actually does work with what we want in society? And the answer is clearly fucking no.
Ethan Grant, Leighton Gay, Conan. We're very Leighton Gay, because that's the super chat from last week.
No, that is late.
Bass Player. Brigade, his video he uploaded on my Card Daily a few hours ago. Listen, Sargon.
Oh, yeah.
Sargon had worse internet than he thought.
No. It's I get home. So I've done 2 podcasts at work today. Get home, I've got to do a 15-minute video for a CAD Daily. And so after I've had dinner, about 6:37, I'll sit down and do that. Then I've got this to do now. So I have a long fucking day today. So that was scheduled earlier. I recorded that earlier and then just scheduled it.
Mikkel, Sargon, what are Restore's views on abortion, OnlyFans, nuclear power, prostitution, and swingers clubs?
No. Am I supposed to know?
Do they have a stance on this?
I doubt they've. I don't think that's come up. We've got more pressing issues, to be honest.
And what are your personal views?
Service guarantees citizenship.
What were those things again?
Abortion, OnlyFans, nuclear power, prostitution, and swingers clubs.
Well, I mean, abortion and OnlyFans I'm against. Prostitution, obviously not for. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's the oldest profession for a reason. I doubt we're getting rid of it anytime soon. And nuclear power, obviously good, but why is that in that list?
I'm not sure. Mine, abortion should be discouraged, but should be legal in medically necessary circumstances. OnlyFans, it's clearly a fucking cancer. It's doing terrible things to our society. I'm getting more and more strident on that every fucking month that passes.
You know what's weird? Sorry, just a quick thing. OnlyFans makes prostitution look way more reasonable.
Yes, I was also about to move on to say, frankly, if we legalize prostitution, I think we would get rid of OnlyFans.
I don't know if we get rid of it, but like I would be more inclined to say yes, ban OnlyFans and legalize prostitution, because at least prostitutes have to work in a personal capacity. Like they can't just groom a million simps and become multi-millionaires out of it.
Are you ready?
And frankly, I think a lot of the motivation would disappear from that point. Like, because a lot of people who watch the OnlyFans things do it for the sham personal connection. more so than the
Yes.
pornographic pictures. If you could just go to a prostitute instead and get that connection, no matter how limited and fake it is, in real life, I think if you legalize prostitution, the numbers of OnlyFans subscribers would fall drastically.
Still just think ban OnlyFans, to be honest.
Nuclear power, obvious good. In fact, we don't have a fucking option anymore, okay? What was it? Was it Texas a few weeks ago that had rolling blackouts and had to start shutting down data centers because they didn't have enough power?
I didn't see that.
Like, listen, we're at the cusp of the age of AI, all right? There's no rolling this shit back. We're not stopping this. We're not putting the genie back in the bottle. It just isn't happening, which means we are going to need to produce a fuckload more power.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nuclear is just going to have to happen.
But also, I mean, we've said this before, it's the safest, it's the most productive. Like, it's kind of ridiculous that we don't use nuclear power for everything anyway.
Mm-hmm. And swingers clubs, that's just weird to me. Prostitute, I get, because it's the male urge to, ejaculate every now and then. Okay, fair enough. But swingers club, taking your partner to get her fucked by someone else?
Yeah.
I mean, morally, I object, but I don't know if I'd ban it.
I mean, I'd probably make it illegal.
There you go. Sargon would oppress your swinger fantasies.
Yeah. Just no, it's just gross. What are you doing?
It does also sound like fertile backgrounds for leftism. So yeah, maybe ban is the safest option.
Yeah.
Garadrim, in honor of Estonian Independence Day, Sargon, please Google the Norwegian ambassador to Estonia and mock Arch relentlessly. The Norwegian?
Who's the Norwegian ambassador to Estonia then?
How the fuck should I know?
I don't know.
Google. Nora Ja Esti. Oh, this doesn't sound like a Norwegian.
Does it not?
Juliana. Okay, I actually find several different Norwegian ambassadors to Estonia. I'm presuming we've had several.
Weird how many you've got.
But Estonia, of course, is a part of what should be Greater Scandinavia.
What, the Estonians are Scandinavians?
Yes. Well, second class and Scandinavians, obviously, like the Danes and the Swedes.
I always assumed they were Slavs.
No. The Estonia, Lithuania, all of that, it's basically ours.
I think they're Slavs, mate.
I don't know. I've seen them. I think they're closer to us than the Slavs.
Okay, fair enough.
They may have genetically been poisoned over the years, but we can save them.
I assume they were Slavs.
Mikkel, we're failing to memorialize our heroes. In 500 years, will there only be statues of George Floyd, falsely credited with freeing slaves?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and this is largely because the right wing is not particularly interested in idealizing its heroes, unfortunately. In fact, it seems far more interested in tearing them down whenever possible.
It's really weird that there aren't loads of statues of Charlie Kirk all over America. I saw a clip of Nick Fuentes the other day saying, look, the left won the Charlie Kirk assassination comprehensively, and the right comprehensively lost it, and he's completely correct about that.
Yep, I can see that, because the left never stopped mocking the death of Charlie Kirk. Never. No. They're just doing it even more openly. And again, this is what I said, right? When they complained initially, like, oh, we're being cancelled for mocking Charlie Kirk. Good.
Yeah.
We didn't cancel them enough.
No, not at all. It should have been, like, the Trump administration should have gone after every company that didn't cancel someone who was mocking Charlie Kirk on Twitter. Yes. They should have said, look, right, okay, we are going to revoke any licenses you have. We are going to do this, that, and the other, because the behavior of your staff is not conducive to the well-being of the Republic. It should have literally come down like a fucking ton of bricks on every single company and be like, no, literally all of them out. Every single one fired. If that's all of your fucking staff, that means all of your staff. Fire, or else. Or else is what Trump should have said. But they didn't. And so it's like, okay, great.
The cancellations were nowhere near harsh enough.
Nowhere near. Nowhere near.
And part of this has to do with the fact that the right wing is far more vital and competitive than the left. The right wing is full of people who are first and foremost interested in success, in growing, becoming better, having their points of view out there. And this leads to it naturally being very fractured and competitive as well.
Yeah.
Which is a weakness when you're in a tribal conflict.
But unironically, it really was about the integrity of the body politic, right? Like, you can't have one side cheering on the murder of the other. You can't have that in a civil society. And if you do have that, you don't have a civil society.
Yep.
So you've got to stop it. It has to be illegal to be able to do that.
And if you don't have a civil society, which we do not, well, then far more strident measures are clearly warranted.
Are you ready to
Well, then you end up in something like Lebanon or Singapore, right? Like you are just people who are trapped together in the same plot of land.
Hire the human substitute rancor. 1 and 2. So it turns out that even Sargon is not immune to being race swapped, as he's now fully blacked. What? Which is why he's definitely not late, because he was just making his own time to be here. Producing time.
Well, I wasn't late.
Not yet. He was not late. Not today. Sandoom, Arch is late and gay, so sorry for the wait, Sargon. There we go. The narrative had turned.
Yeah, see, it wasn't me.
Fan kids, no, I am late, therefore I am gay. Sorry, wife. Well, I am sorry. Sadism, the Sargoy returns. He's back now. And Marine Alva, who won the war in Afghanistan? The Taliban.
Yeah. Not the Americans.
Yep. Who were the victors' allies, including ones that played both sides? Who's to say this isn't the victories claiming the spoils? Where I'm a Xenos mod. Yeah, no, the Taliban won the war. Because this was a conquest. From America's side, this was about destroying the Taliban, destroying Al-Qaeda. You could argue that Al-Qaeda is destroyed, but only because it's no longer relevant.
Yeah. But I mean, if I would judge the ultimate victor in any conflict with the person who controls the territory of the conflict was fought over after it's over. And by that standard, obviously it's the Taliban.
Yep. Mr. Rich Low Pitch, you should watch Malcolm and Simone Collins' recent video on Islam. Also, I've been binging Freeran recently, and it's more reality than fairytale. And the Inner Circle with a third red super chat. Jesus Christ, you're very generous today. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Obviously, the more Islamic a person is, the more likely they do censored to you, because that is a priori assumption fundamental to their religion. A literal command from Allah to a censored. All of us know ideally you should not welcome Islam into your culture.
There's just no particular reason that you'd want to.
There isn't. And the only argument for Islam is Western Islam as well. That's the thing. It's all about, my Western interpretation of Islam, my liberal interpretation of Islam.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, but we're not necessarily objecting to your liberal personal interpretation of Islam. We're objecting to Islam as a fundamental doctrine.
Yeah, how do you get the Muslims to sign up to that? Just out of interest.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the big moment, the big highlight.
5% believe that the Jews have too much power in the UK. 50.
That was not the soundbite I was referring to, but there you go.
2% compulsory halal. I could go on and on and on and on. But most important to me is the free speech of this. So let's get this out, shall we? 78% of British Muslims believe that no publication should publish pictures of Muhammad. An overwhelming majority. That rises to 87%. That's 9 out of every 10 Muslims that are walking the streets today in a country which absolutely abandoned blasphemy laws.
9 out of 10.
Suspicion is not strong enough a word. The West should resist Islam in the strongest terms on free speech grounds alone. So here we are with this cartoon, right? And it's time to show that I will not submit. I will not adhere to the religious laws of far-off places. Now, my wife asked me not to show this for fear of repercussions in my family, but I told her that if I did not, then I had already submitted to Islam. So here we are.
Is it not enough that half the team that invited you to this debate were Muslim women who wanted to hear out your expression and your arguments? Is it not enough that I, as a Muslim president, have invited you to this chamber to give your arguments? Is that
Sorry,
not enough
Ham, just pause a sec. The power is suddenly on the other foot, right?
Yep.
Like now she. Oh, what happened to the conquering attitude?
She's very defensive.
Yeah. Now you sound a bit worried. What are you worried about? You're worried that actually someone might actually get killed, aren't you?
Yes.
You're worried that on your watch someone
there's fear. Now, very evidence for. Is it not enough? That's a pleading. Could you not do this request?
Yeah. Very interesting.
Justification and evidence for you to believe that we do believe in free speech. I would not become the president of a free speech society if not for it.
And again, like
threatened him with death.
You may possibly believe in free speech, at least a warped version of it, where you are the thin layer in between your violent supporters and their ability to speak. But that doesn't mean all.
Also, you threatened them. You threatened Tommy Robinson earlier.
Oh, well, may I, thank you very much. May I finish, excuse me.
And Jacob Rees-Mogg too rises in opposition.
You know why we shouldn't be suspicious of Islam? Is because if you open that, they're going to fucking murder you.
Yes.
Lawrence. So don't do it, Lawrence. I must insist.
Point of order having been raised, I'll hear the ex-librarian.
It's a long time since I've been in this chamber and knew the rules off by heart, but in the House of Commons, and we model ourselves on the House of Commons, props are not allowed.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So this is Mogg raising up and now arguing that props, so items to show off, is not allowed.
But look at how he's arguing. It's a point of procedure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's talk about the procedural mechanisms of what you're doing, not why we are worried about this.
Yes. Well, because everyone knows why they're worried about this.
Yes.
Everyone understands the fear of what could be in that envelope. Yeah. Nobody questions that.
Yeah. Showing up, and for anyone in the chat who's not aware, it's forbidden in Islam to draw pictures of the Prophet Muhammad. Now, this, just for anyone who's wondering, right, this is actually quite a recent ordinance in Islam. Now, if you go back a few hundred years, there are loads of pictures of the Prophet Muhammad, but for some reason, in recent years, they've decided these things are verboten because they might worship them as idols or something like that, which is a bit weird. Because, I mean, I think really everyone credited Muslims with a bit more sense than that. It's a picture. No, I'm going to worship it as a god. It's like, are you? Well, no, obviously you're not going to. So why are you so bothered about it? Well, you know, religious extremism, basically. Mm-hmm. But yes. So anyway, at the moment, Islam is like, no. And it's so bad that people, I mean, at the moment, you've got a grammar school teacher in Batley in England, who is currently in hiding because he did show an image of the Prophet Muhammad in his class, and he has been under threat of death ever since. Mm-hmm. And they think the same thing is going to happen to Lawrence Fox.
Yep.
And because Islam is so little to worry about, they're like, please don't do this.
Yep. The famous Charlie Hebdo, of course, the publication that released a caricature of Muhammad and was attacked by terrorists.
Oh yeah, and that was, I mean, the Charlie Hebdo attack was mental as well, like really bad.
Yep, the author of the Satanic Verses, which was very well like Salman Rushdie, was very much so doing this to kind of prove that, you know, in a liberal society we can release this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, you can't. Violence will be enacted upon you if you do.
Yeah, you literally don't have this option, mate. I mean, Salman Rushdie is missing an eye because of this.
Yes.
Because he's been attacked by people.
Yes. So, again, like, the fear is palpable in the room here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is not just an abstract. Well, a Muslim could do something. There are lots of people who have done stuff like this who have been, like entirely possible. Like Salman Rushdie has a fatwa on his head from the Iranian government, from the mullahs. And it's the same sort of thing that they think would happen to Lawrence Fox. They think he would get killed by Muslims.
Props is the same in the Oxford Union.
I love this. Well, I love this. Look. If I outmaneuver him on a point of order, then I save the day. I don't have to address that. Islam would probably have him killed, and we get to avoid getting Lawrence Fox killed.
Yep.
Like Jacob Rees-Mogg seems so fucking pleased with himself. It's like, well, I can argue procedurally. It's like that doesn't substantively change the nature of the discussion, does it, Jacob?
This is also the first time during the entire debate that he has spoken. This was what roused him to go like, oh my God, this is dangerous.
Yeah. And this is you arguing that we don't need to be suspicious of Islam, Jacob.
Thank the honourable gentleman for his point of order.
Excuse me for 1 second.
One moment.
In the absence,
Mr. Fox, one moment, Mr. Fox. The ex-president is also raising a point of order, I think.
Just it's helpful to inform the ex-member and others, at least my 40-year-old society, that ban was not extended and didn't seem to apply to Israel and Palestine flag.
Thank you. So, right. I just want to wrap this up.
I am going to rule on the point of order. There is no bar in the forms of the House against the use of props. However, I would encourage Mr. Fox to make the point and move on.
To make the point and move on. It's remarkable the nervousness that this is producing.
They're fucking terrified.
I was until points of order. So it is in that spirit that I will not submit that I show you this as an Englishman who believes in free speech.
Bravo, Lawrence. It's so good.
Yes, that was a fantastic point.
I mean, it's just destroyed them completely. Like they're very.
I will not.
See if I can find.
So for anyone listening, it's a caricature of Jacob Rees-Mogg, a parody picture of him.
Yes. So what is holding up? If I can find a decent still frame of it, it is a cartoon of Jacob Rees-Mogg, a political cartoon of Jacob Rees-Mogg's.
It is not a picture of Muhammad.
No,
but they thought it was.
They thought it was.
Fucking freaked out about it.
And
forms of the House still of it against the use of props. However, I am going to rule on
spirit that I free speech.
There we go. That's a decent one.
I mean, it's such a good move.
And he ends the speech by simply saying, I think the response to what you thought was in this envelope proves my point.
Yeah, which it absolutely does.
It absolutely does.
Genuinely one of the best moves he could have made. I wouldn't have thought of this myself.
No.
It's such a clever setup.
It was a genius setup because it proves the point without question.
Yeah, there's nowhere for them to go.
No. And the laugh as well is very much so a laugh of relief as much as it has of humor.
Yeah, thank God it's not going to get someone killed.
Yep, this isn't going to lead to violence.
Yeah.
And it's also a multi-layered point as well, because in the West, we have a long tradition of openly mocking the shit out of our public figures.
Yep.
No, not to mention Christianity. Like there was a stand-up comedian made an excellent point on this, where he was asked, why don't you make jokes about Islam? And he simply explained, listen, if I mock Christianity, nothing's going to happen to me. Nothing is going to happen. Nobody's even going to be upset about it. Even the most fervent believers of Christianity will not be upset with me. If I mock Islam, someone might die.
And that person might be me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a fucking fantastic point, because he doesn't even need to make it. Everyone understands what might be in that envelope. Everyone understands what that might mean. No one is in any doubt as to what that might mean.
Yeah. Genuinely brilliant on Lawrence's part. Really
incredible fucking point. Right, let's see. Moving on again. Oh, it's our student of history again, I believe.
Oh, good. Yeah.
They were not following the teachings of Islam, and I will get to exactly why. They were.
Oh,
Yes. We return to the No True Scotsman.
yeah. No true Muslim.
No, they were not following the teachings of Islam, and I will get to why. I will get to why. The motion is about Islam, not about people who claim to believe in Islam and then misrepresent and denigrate our religion.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I love this. I don't know if it's confidence or self-delusion. Like,
I have the one true Islam.
Yeah, like how old is this woman? Like what? 20s, early 20s?
Yeah, 22.
Yeah, 22, something. A woman in Oxford as a president of a free speech union, having her hair on full display for everyone, wearing a fancy Western dress.
Totally westernized.
Yeah, and she's
Somehow
sitting there
she
like,
knows real Islam.
I am the authority on Islam.
It's weird that my Islam is libtardism.
Like
I don't
this-
get. I can have sex with who I like. I bet she drinks alcohol. I bet she just acts like a normal Western person.
Yes.
What were the odds? Her Islam is acting like a Westerner.
Again, hey, that makes her the best version of Islam.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned.
But that doesn't change the fact that if an actual Islamist was in the room right now, he'd grab you by the hair and pull you out of the room, telling you to shut up when men are speaking.
Why are you getting an education?
Yeah, why are you even at school?
Yeah. Like, literally, the Taliban are banning women from schools, bro.
We're
Just
not even
saying.
going to get to the dress and the hair. The first question is, why are you at school?
Yeah, literally, it's going to be. Oh, no, you're going to get married now. You're going to be someone's third wife.
Yeah, you're 22. You're way beyond the age of marriage. You're gonna be lucky if you're a concubine at this point.
Yeah, and you're not going to have any choice in this.
Nope.
At all.
I mean, you're a goddamn spinster.
Yeah, basically.
Let's see. 20.
This
the only
motion-
exceptions are the Society's videographers and those that have already arranged recording. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew.
And us. We have an exception also to react to this.
Oh, good.
This motion is not about non-believers, people who say they believe in Islam but don't actually follow its teachings. It is about Islam. And I would urge...
As determined by me, the Oxford Muslim, of course.
I love great. Now we're into the realm of schismatics.
Yes.
Fucking brilliant. Oh, God.
you all to follow through with that motion, with that wording, and actually scrutinize the religious teachings for what they actually are and not for what you want them to be to fit your narrative. Let me get to my point.
Well, hang on. Amazing. Yeah, like my narrative. I didn't know anything about Islam before I started studying it. Like, I didn't know. I didn't care. I didn't think anything of it. Like, I wasn't like, right, for some reason, I'm just going to choose Islam as the bad religion. I could look into Buddhism. I could look into Jainism. I could look into Zoroastrianism. And I could stigmatize any of those if I wanted. But no, I just want to stigmatize Islam. Right? No, it's not that I wanted to. And I came with a presupposed, preordained attitude towards Islam. Because I don't hate Buddhism, I don't hate Jainism, I don't hate Hinduism or anything. I don't even hate Islam, but I recognize Islam for what it is. And I recognize it for what it is because I read the Quran.
Because here's the thing. If you want the Western interpretation of Islam, it's this. It's Salah ad-Din from Three Kingdoms. It's the wise desert-dwelling savage. Yeah, Three Kingdoms. Kingdom of Heaven, yeah, excuse me.
Yeah. It's the desert-dwelling savage that basically has Christian morality.
Yes, Christian morality, but somehow he's wiser. He's ahead of Christianity. He's smarter. He's more progressive. And his belief is more pure.
Yeah. He's a noble and honorable man.
Yes, that was the Western view of Islam. That is our baseline notion. Okay?
Yeah.
So nobody chooses to... wait, this isn't the same woman who was on Carthage, was she? I think this is the second.
It is, isn't it?
Is it? She might be.
I don't know.
This isn't like Cato the Elder waking up one day and going, we must destroy Carthage. No reason, we must destroy Carthage.
But ultimately, she's claiming an authority she doesn't have. You don't get
Yes.
to excise someone from Islam. You don't get to determine that someone is or is not a Muslim. And also, any doctrine that is so open to this kind of misinterpretation, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm naturally suspicious of anyway. If your doctrine cannot be clearly understood by the many millions and millions of people who need to understand it, then that's a problem with the doctrine.
Yeah, and again, her position is the vanishingly small minority position. She represents probably, if even a single percentage of Islam.
Yeah. Like the small westernized percentage.
Yes. And that is what she is. She is a westernized Muslim. She is far closer to liberal ideology than she will ever be to Islam.
Wait, thank you.
Yes.
The same pattern shows up with the hadith you mentioned about Aisha and the marriage. The claim that she was 6 at marriage and 9 at consummation. Except what they don't tell you is that the source who provided that recollection is not seen as concretely reliable, that the author of one of the earliest and most revered collections of hadith in Islamic law, Imam
Well, we don't
Malik,
agree. We don't agree with that hadith. Oh, well, okay. So, I mean, for literally, 1,000 years, no one cared. Like, no one cared. Like, this whole thing, this is a modern Western conceit. Like, for 1,000 years, no one cared.
But now, in the modern Western world, it sounds awfully strange for Muhammad to marry a 6-year-old child.
Yeah.
So, this is something we're gonna have to reread this passage, brothers.
did not accept this narrator's report, and that various reconstructions, including from the Yaqeen Institute, put her age as far, far older. English common.
How far older, by the way? Are we talking 10, 11?
22.
Oh, 22. Oh.
Yeah.
Wait,
but the thing is,
married at 22.
But no, that's fine. That's not particularly abnormal. But it's just not the accepted number. These are revisionist numbers.
Mm-hmm.
However, set the age of consent at 12 until 1875. Canon law permitted marriage from puberty. The marriage practices Mr. Robinson is condemn the whole of pre-modern civilization, including Christian Europe, if we were to take his arguments at their highest tonight.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. And he would say, yeah, I think they were wrong.
Yeah.
He would just agree with you.
Yeah. That's not a condemnation of modern Western world. We all agree, yeah, no, that was silly. We shouldn't have done that.
But also, those people were divinely inspired.
And
they were just
furthermore,
mortal men.
If indeed we are to believe this, that this predates the entire old world believed this, yeah, but your people believed this too.
Yeah. Which is why Muhammad believed it and did it.
Yes. And yet you're here defending him. Why? Why can't you also simply say, no, that was a terrible thing, and you shouldn't fuck children?
Because ultimately, they have to agree with what Muhammad did. Muhammad's life is considered to be the perfect life for a man. He's considered to be the perfect man in Islam. And it's like, oh, okay, Jesus. Yeah,
and so now they've got to find a justification for it.
Yeah. But also, notice how it's just on the attack now. Now it's not, Muhammad was justified. Now it's you're a bad person.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, sure. They were wrong to do that. And this is why, for such a long time, like Muhammad marrying Aisha was just a non-issue. Because, 1,000 years ago, people didn't really care about that.
Let me get through my speech. I'm not being able to get
You haven't taken 1 point from me. Are you afraid? There are still Muslim countries in this world which say that their legal system is based on Sharia, which allow the marriage of children because of their belief in those verses. Are you saying they're not Muslims too?
Again, and I do not understand why it is so difficult for proposition to wrap their heads around this. People can take any text and they can misinterpret it and they can misapply it and they can believe that what they're doing is Islamic latent sidda.
Correct. And you fucking just destroyed your own position.
Yeah, that's your point.
That is your entire fucking argument, that my interpretation of Islam is the correct one, and everybody else have just interpreted it wrong this whole time. And
the odds.
This is what the entire argument for the defense rests on. The abject rejection of any negative interpretation and the embrasure only of the liberal interpretation.
Yeah. Our Islam, good Islam, your Islam, not Islam.
Yes. Simple as. But this, of course, again, obviously that means we should be suspicious of Islam. If you, as the pro-Islam side, needs to roundly reject the majority of Islam, then surely you are suspicious of Islam.
Yeah, in fact, I'm starting to think you're not Muslims yourselves, not even because, not just because you're not representative of what a Muslim appears to be.
Mm-hmm.
He fought violence with art, Western. They fought art with violence, Islamic.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be a writer to have suffered the violent intrusion of Islam into your life. On September the 11th, 2001, 19 hijackers cried Allahu Akbar as they murdered nearly 3,000 people in the name of Islam, flying planes into the Twin Towers. On the 7th of July 2005, 4 British Muslim suicide bombers slaughtered 52 commuters on London's tube and a bus, declaring, "We are at war and I am a soldier." In 2013, Michael Adebilajo beheaded the young British soldier Lee Rigby in broad daylight on a Woolwich street, and then proudly told police and cameras, his hands dripping in blood, "I'm a soldier of Allah." Theo van Gogh, stabbed, shot, nearly decapitated in Amsterdam for criticizing Islam. His killer pinned a note to the body declaring it was done, quotes, "by the law that commands me to cut off the head of anyone who insults Allah and his prophet."
Can you give me examples from the scripture, directly, in context, properly, that would advise or point to the actions of any of these specific people?
Kill the unbelievers wherever you find them. It literally, word for word, kill the unbelievers wherever you find them. Yes, I can do that.
And yet again, all of these negative things, and he's simply rejected with, "But my reading of the text does not condone this."
No true Islam.
Which is again, okay, so we now have zealous believers of Islam, willing and able to commit violence in the name of Islam. These are hardened believers that are willing to go to extreme measures and extreme acts for their faith. And yet here is a girl of 22 in pretty clothes, wearing jewelry, at Oxford, sitting in a leather-bound chair going, "Sir, your conviction is incorrect."
I mean, unironically, I think Muhammad would say she was dressed like a prostitute. No, I'm not joking. She's not covered, right, in the way that Muhammad stipulated women should be covered. Now, I'm not saying she's dressed like a prostitute, obviously. She's dressed very nicely, and she looks lovely, right? Nothing wrong with the way she looks and the way she's dressed at all. But I'm not a Muslim. I don't have the same opinions that you find in the Quran on these things.
Yeah. And again, her entire opinion of this is obviously coming from a very different, far softer, far more liberal point of view. And again, if we could simply replace the entirety of Islam with her version of it, then wonderful, fucking fantastic.
And suddenly the problems are over.
But that doesn't seem likely.
Yes.
I'll do 50.
Portuguese had an Inquisition? Yes. No one expects the Portuguese Inquisition. So, this title's a funny one, and I'm going to try to deal with as many points as possible. I think that if we looked at Hermann Ebbing, the German member of the Free Democratic Party, who argued when he was found with child photos that if he was prosecuted publicly, it would increase anti-Semitism and his sentence was reduced. Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, again, someone
Fucking
caught in
defense
Las
and a half.
Yep.
Fucking hell.
Vegas, left to Israel and very quietly allowed to escape bail. And of course, well, Jeffrey Epstein, Weinstein. If we said, wait a second, what do they all have in common? Should we start being suspicious of what they all have in common? You'd say that's anti-Semitic, and rightly so.
But is that rightly so?
I'm not making a comment on that.
Listen, I have grown far more radical than the proposition on this particular fucking point. See, okay, so a big part of the argument he's making here is that you shouldn't single out Islam. You can't point to the bad things Islam does and goes like, this is bad because Islam. It's like, well, what if we flip this on his head and made it about the Jews? And, you know, I'm inclined
there's another Middle
to
Eastern
agree.
religion I'd like to make this about. It's like, oh, I bet there is.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I would like to extend the West's suspicion to many religions.
Yeah, hey, bro. You know, let's see where that goes.
I'm not in opposition to that. I'm moving out of the way. I'm not standing in front of it. Go on. Because at the end of the day, this is obviously a whataboutism more so than a defense of Islam. But yeah, no, absolutely. Like, if we look at people that continue to carry out heinous actions and they all happen to have certain things in common, I think it is entirely reasonable to have a quick little glance at that thing and go,
David Wood has a great line on this. He's just like, what do all these Mohammeds have in common?
Yeah.
Great question.
And I'm more than happy to extend that to why do all of these Steins have in common? Happy to do it.
I'm not extending anything. I'm saying nothing. We are not extending anything.
I think the second thing is Sharia can't be imposed on non-Muslims. The Quran
Of course it can.
Of course it can, and has been repeatedly.
Yeah, it has been.
Regards those Jews and Christians, Jews coming to the Prophet Muhammad to seek his judgment, and then they didn't accept it. So what does the Quran say? If they don't accept it, then turn away from them. Say, you go judge by your own book.
And what does your book say about their treatments? Should they pay a tax? Should they be treated as second-class citizens, etc., etc.?
What happens if they don't pay their tax?
It says judge. The people of the book should judge by their own book. It's actually in the Quran. Okay.
Yes. And what that means is, okay, they haven't accepted our laws, so enforce them upon them.
Yes.
That is what that means. It's literally, again, the conqueror's perspective. Okay, they haven't agreed, they haven't surrendered. Well, rule over them nevertheless. You have a set of laws, you have a set of regulations, you have a set of morals. Apply them.
It's also a very clever and pragmatic way of dealing with the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, you've taken over an area and you want to impose your religion on the area. Well, actually, incentives are the easiest way to do that.
Yeah.
You say, look, you know, anyone who doesn't convert to the religion has just got to pay 10% extra tax. You can be like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Why don't I just, you know...
We're going to put Muslims in position of power and authority. We're going to make it a little bit more difficult to do everything. We're going to make it a little bit more difficult to get a trading license or space at the market, etc., etc. A little bit more tax.
But also what it does is it means there's no point rebelling. You may as well just pay that 10% extra tax.
Yeah.
Just pay the 10% tax. It's a lot safer. Yeah, it's a pain. You know, you're a bit poorer than the Muslims around you, but paying that 10% tax makes more sense than going on a revolution that will probably fail, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, okay. And like you say, they're locked out of all of these positions of power. And so there's a kind of winnowing effect, a whittling effect, where it's just like slowly but surely, you become the minority, we become the majority, and that'll never change.
Yes. And slowly but surely, again, new generations will grow up. They might be more pragmatic. Your son might say, but Dad, I don't want to pay 10% tax. I want to go to the market with everybody else.
I want to become a politician. I want to become an administrator or something like this.
Yeah.
You know, I want a position of authority and influence. All of my friends are Muslims, you know?
Yes, the cultural pressure of it.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
moral
absolutely.
pressure too. Like if you're at the local tavern or whatever, and all of your Muslim friends are sitting there with their water pipes, and you're sitting there with your alcohol.
Shisha bar. The shisha bar.
Yep.
Like, you're not allowed in the shisha bar if you're not a Muslim.
It's a wonderful way to pressure the society to begin to abide by your rules without risking revolt. Again, this is why this is a conqueror and a ruler's religion. It thinks about these things.
Yeah, and the thing is, it is clever. Like, that's clever.
It very much so is. Let's see. I'd also like to get to Moggs's speech at the end here. Because this is probably the one where a lot of people expected a lot from Jacob Rees-Moggs, and I do not believe he delivered. So I'll see if Sargon agrees with me.
Mr. Chairman, may I begin by adding my congratulations to the President for being incredibly steadfast and stalwart against extraordinary pressure and hostility from people who ought to have known better and should have supported her in defending free speech. And I thank Mr. Robinson for accepting the invitation to come to an audience that he didn't necessarily expect to be favourable. Free speech requires both sides of the argument to be put. I also congratulate the member who just spoke from Christchurch for his elegant speech, which unfortunately elegantly spoke about a different motion. And that is often a problem with the Oxford Union Society, that when a motion says one thing and a speaker thinks something else, he tries and talk around the subject. No, we've had quite a bit from you already, but we might come back to later. And I want to speak strictly to the motion. The West is right to be suspicious of Islam. And here, Mr. Chairman, I'm disappointed, because I thought I was coming up against the hard men of the right of British politics, the people who have a reputation for being tough and forthright and powerfully patriotic. And it turns out that they are wee, sleek-it, carrion, timorous beasties, because they have no confidence.
Shut up, you fucking coward! You fucking trembled. You fucking trembled when you thought he was going to pull out a picture of Muhammad. You coward. You panicked. You fucking liar.
You reached for precedence to try and stop him from doing that.
Oh, it's so fucking pathetic.
And also,
so pathetic.
This thing too is like, I thought I was coming as the hard members of the right wing. There is a screaming, baying mob of violent protesters outside that would murder them if given half the chance. The reason why you are not seeing it comes across as if he expected there to be like hardcore Nazis on the other side going, we must exterminate the Muslims, drive them from our shores. Like,
why didn't Tommy bring like 1,000 of the football lads to come and beat everyone up, you know? Yeah. But also, Jacob, you're talking to Lawrence Fox. Like, Lawrence, I love Lawrence, a good friend of mine. He's a wet lettuce, he's a lovey, he's an actor, he's a genuinely gentle, lovely guy. He isn't the hard man. Like, and he would never say he's a hard man. He knows he's not a hard man. Like, for fuck's sake. Like,
yeah.
Fucking hell.
And this is fundamentally demonstrates how lost in fucking time Jacob Rees-Moggs is. He doesn't know what his opposition is, even. His view of them are completely radically opposite to what he thinks. And then he comes there as well, and is like, oh, well, you didn't ask for anything strident. What are you saying? Should we just be suspicious? You're couching all of your language in terms that are reasonable. Aren't you supposed to be the screeching crazies I've been told about?
Yes. And this is another thing about, like, Tommy he's particularly thinking of here. Tommy is someone who has been terrorized by the mainstream media. Like, Tommy has been getting the Jason Arday treatment his whole adult life.
Yep.
His whole adult fucking life. Honestly, it is a miracle that he has not been assassinated by a fucking Muslim yet. Because they've all given it, like, the signal saying, yeah, you should kill this bad man. He's the bad man. Even Jacob Rees-Mogg is like, yeah, he's the bad man. Like, right now, he's saying he's the bad man. And yet, you know, this is unbelievable. I fucking hate this.
And the reason why you're not hearing the strong men of the right, Jacob, is because Tommy has been to jail 5 times in the last 20 years, okay? Yes. Every arm of government, of institutions, of power and apparatus in the United Kingdom has been barreling down on him for 20 years. You have jailed, censored, and made utterly unacceptable anything that is even mildly right of centre.
He was deplatformed from everything for the better part of a decade.
Yes.
Elon Musk brought him back. Elon Musk is the person who gave Tommy his account back.
Yeah. Like, we understand, Jacob. We unlike you, we get it. Our speech has consequences.
Yes.
If you are on the side of the defense, you may stand up there and say, if it weren't for me, you would be killed by my supporters, and nothing will happen. Nothing will happen.
Imagine if Tommy had said that.
If Tommy had said that, he would have been probably dragged through the streets. He'd probably been arrested.
He'd be in jail. He'd be in jail. He would literally be in jail. If Tommy was like, yeah, my supporters might kill you and tear you apart, but I'm going to prevent it because I'm so generous, they'd go fucking ballistic. And rightly so.
That would obviously be perceived as a threat.
Which it is.
And, like, again, Moggs has no idea. Like, he doesn't know what his opposition is. He doesn't know what they've been through. He doesn't understand that he is on the side of the progressive establishment here.
Oh, God, it's so infuriating.
In the West, in their nation, in the religion that has made our nation fine and great and strong, instead they're sitting there in their homes at night, fretting that we're suddenly going to be converted to Islam. Well, I'm not. Let me be quite clear about it.
And I'm sure you're not, Jacob Sir Jacob Rees-Moggs. I'm sure you have no fear of Islam intruding upon your gated community. Let me see here.
I mean, he lives in a mansion. He's literally an aristocrat.
Right.
Like this is infuriating.
So here we go. So this here is Sir Jacob Rees-Moggs' childhood home.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that you have no fear whatsoever about Islam. You live in a castle.
And like, was it Lawrence or Tommy pointed out, you have 400 Muslims in your constituency.
Yes.
Like, there's nothing for you to fear because you are so remote.
You hail from a British estate. You are one of the most well-established mainstream political class people in the fucking United Kingdom. You are a sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, nobody thinks you're afraid. Nobody thinks you're afraid.
No.
Unfortunately, the majority of Englishmen do not actually live on fucking castle estates.
If you had grown up in Luton, where the English are now 33% of the population, and as Tommy pointed out, the Muslims are the majority, you'd probably feel very differently, Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
This. Because I believe in the enormous strength of the West and of Western values.
Yeah.
And one of those Western values is that we believe in freedom of religion. But we partly believe in that because freedom of religion, freedom of ideas, freedom of speech, of which freedom of religion must be a subset, has made us strong.
But has it? Has it? Has this made us strong?
I mean, it's certainly making us weak now.
Yeah, and all of his point here is just clinging like a drowning man to the wreckage of liberalism. It's like, no. This works. Look at all the things we've made. Look at how good we are. Surely this must be functional. So, but this isn't a liberal religion. Okay, these don't have liberal ideals. Their entire argument rests around the idea that their liberal interpretation of Islam is better.
Yeah.
And not to mention, the Western world has never been weaker. You can look back at the year 2000. That was our golden age. Unprecedented advances in technology, in peace, in stability, in finances. We're not there anymore. The world has gotten, and I'm sure, by the way, Jacob Rees-Mogg would agree with this, the world has gotten more dangerous, it has gotten more unstable, it has become more fractured. No one sane would think that the world was in a better position today than 26 years ago.
Yes.
And we can all see why. Like, again, like, just because he doesn't understand, as he was demonstrated during the Telegraph interview, the podcast thingy, doesn't mean it's not happening. And you can't just then simply bury your head in the sand and go like, well, I believe in my institutions. But institutions are failing.
We have, whisper it quietly in the West, benefited from Islam during our history. What
We have, about 5,000 years ago.
about Al-Khwarizmi, circa 820, even a bit before my time, who gave us the advantage of numbers. It took us 300 years to get his numbers.
Give fucking over, Jacob. Not like we didn't have numbers before. Right? Arabic numerals are just more convenient than Roman numerals, but Roman numerals still work. It's like saying, yeah, well, there was literally no writing and literature before the Phoenician alphabet. So there was, it was just less convenient.
Yes. And again, we're talking here about something that is literally 1,000 years old.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to go back like that fucking far.
Yes. And again...
And it's not like the Arabs invented them. They stole them from the Phoenicians just like the Greeks did.
Yeah. And we still did just fine. We were still at a technological level, at the very least the equivalent, and in many ways vastly superior to the Arabs before we had numbers. It wasn't like the numbers was just suddenly we were like, oh, shit, math! We had no idea!
Yeah, this is another thing that annoys me, right? It's like, oh, the Arabs had this. Like, yeah, they took it from the Greeks. Right? They took everything from the Greeks. And the contention would be, oh, well, if they hadn't preserved it, it wouldn't be with us now. No, your contention would have to be that the Romans would, for some reason, just burn down all their own fucking libraries. So why would they do that? Why would they be like, yeah, we preserved all this knowledge and wisdom for 1,000 years, and now we're going to burn it all down? Oh, the Arabs are like, not on our watch, you're not. It's like, bollocks. The Arabs burned the Library of Alexandria.
Bring system into Latin or even into English. But that has been the foundation of capitalism. Without the numbering system that has come to us from Islam, we would not have the strength of capitalism that has made us strong and rich and prosperous.
Nonsense. Like, absolutely, the economy was invented in the 10th century, according to Jacob Rees-Mogg.
I just love the idea that, yeah, like, you know that's not true. So funny.
And successful.
All right.
But what about the Laffer curve? Now, there may be some people here who like the Laffer curve. I love it. I love this idea that lower taxes are a jolly good thing. I want them to be a good deal lower. But Arthur Laffer
We have
himself
Islam to thank for that.
recognizes the value of Ibn Khaldun, who wrote 600 years before Arthur Laffer in 1377. Beginning to come into my time. I think I was probably at school by then. But
And, okay, we're talking about Laffer curve, right? Okay, this is an idea of taxation, which simply says that if you have extreme taxes, then this will decrease the profitability of the taxable mass of people.
Taken, yeah.
Yes. This isn't some foreign Arabic concept either. The Romans knew of this, the Carthaginians, the Greeks.
The Babylonians probably knew of this.
Yeah, Bronze Age civilizations realized that, hey, if we take all of the grain, there won't be any seeds to plant. My God.
And you know what, right? What's also remarkable is like, oh, yeah, the Laffer curve, yeah. Like, taxes in the ancient world were 10% of what you made.
10% would have been considered pretty hefty.
And I was going to say, and that was the upper end of it. Okay? The upper end of ancient taxation is 1/10 of everything you have. That's a huge amount for them.
Yeah.
We're paying 45% at our upper end.
Yeah. And hell, Moggs, you just argued that we must be confident in our modern system because it's so robust. No, it isn't. Like, we are literally now sitting on, between European countries, average 40 to 50% taxes plus. Does that sound like a healthy society to you, where half of a man's earnings goes to maintaining the state?
Yeah, I don't know about you, but that sounds fucking demented, and I hate it, Jacob.
That is not a healthy system that requires such countless billions to maintain it, and yet it is still falling into deficit.
Oh, yeah, and like the amount of debt that we're carrying at the moment, Jacob, it's just, this is not sustainable, is it, bro?
Hadn't come up to Oxford yet. 1377, 600 years, what did he say? It's rather wonderful how he put it. He said that when a sultan comes to the throne, he has low taxes and lots of income, and when he's old, he has high taxes and no income. That is a beautiful encapsulation
of the Western world.
Yes.
That, Moggs, you just nailed it on the head. When you are fresh, young, and vital, you have low taxes, the world is growing, things are getting better. When a system is getting old, stagnant, and dying, is when you see the opposite.
Yeah, tolerance. Well, there's a great quote. Is tolerance is the virtue of the dying of the weak, or something like that. I can't remember what it was. It's not from Warhammer, but it sounds like a Warhammer quote. But it's just like there's no virtue in tolerance, right? Tolerance is what people who are too weak to impose their own regime do.
of the Laffer curve, and it comes from an Islamic scholar. If only the West had the wisdom to be a little bit less suspicious of some things that come from Islam, we might have lower taxes and a stronger growing economy.
Oh, yeah, right, that's right. That's right. That's right, Jacob. The English dislike of high taxes comes from Islam. Fucking... I just can't. I cannot fucking...
And this is also why the Middle East is famous for its vibrant, booming, independent economies.
I mean, in the defense of the Arabs, they've always been a mercantile people.
Yes.
In their defense, that's true.
But there's the point. Did Arab money build this?
Well, it didn't build the modern Middle East, but ancient Arabic empires were always very mercantile. That's true. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not to their credit, but they didn't invent it. They weren't the people who invented mercantilism.
And again, the only reason why the Middle East isn't Africa in essence right now, or slightly better than Africa, let's be fair, is because of the trade it does with the West. They have been brought up by association with us, not the other way around.
Go on, I'll give way to you.
Could you maybe come up with something a little more current from an Islamic scholar like, say, Osama bin Laden or someone?
Well, I know the side of...
What was the guy who was the guy who led ISIS? Who the New York Times were like, austere Islamic scholar.
I don't remember now.
I can't remember his name. But the New York. Do you not remember the New York Times being like? Yeah,
I do remember the
Baghdadi. That's right, Baghdadi. Yeah. So why not cite him? Just out of interest, Jacob. Is his interpretation of Islam not the one you like?
Opposite a friendly obsession with Mr. bin Laden, I'm not a fan of his. Let me make that absolutely clear. I think he's one of the most evil men to have come into the world in the last 100 years. No, yes, to come into the world in the last 100 years.
Very bold.
Years.
He was a Muslim, Jacob. He followed Islam.
In fact,
he made it his entire life.
He followed Islam a hell of a lot more closely than most of the people sitting on your side of the bench.
Yeah, Islam was his entire life. He dedicated himself to it. We literally called him a crusader for Islam in the 80s when he was fighting against the Soviets.
Yep. And yet he was also the most evil man in the last 100 years. Worse than Hitler.
He wasn't when he was our guy. He's praised at the end of, was it Rocky 3 or whatever it is?
Yes, to the brave fighters of the Taliban, yeah.
Yeah. It's his Taliban.
Bad man. But if we go through the history of evil and bad men, are they all Muslim? Or dare I say...
That's right, Jacob. They have to all be Muslim for us to have any suspicions about Islam.
That there are some Christians who have committed great and evil acts. There are people of all faiths. There are particularly
brave,
the
stunning
atheists who are very dangerous. Stalin was an atheist, one of the great killers. Mao was an atheist, one of the great killers. You can't blame Mao and Stalin on Islam.
Well, we can blame them for socialism, though.
Yeah.
And those are the risks we should be worried about.
Should we? Okay, but right, let's assume that. So there's been a couple of people of socialism that have done great, terrible things. All right? So we're right to be suspicious of those. Okay. So we also agree that there have been Muslims that have done great and terrible things. Why shouldn't we be suspicious of them?
Great question. Great question.
It's so fucking dumb.
We should be worried about...
Especially as Islam and communism, they're just ideologies.
Yeah.
They're worldviews. They're things people believe. We're not talking about intrinsic characteristics of people. People can stop being Muslims anytime they like, and millions do.
Yes.
So, people can stop being communists anytime they like, and, well, I don't know if millions do. But, it's the same fucking principle, Jacob. What's the problem here?
China and about Russia, people who threaten our safety, one a totalitarian atheist state, and one probably an Orthodox state. The Orthodox Church's relationship with the Russian state is pretty close. But do I dismiss all orthodoxy? Or do I, in fact, want it to come into union with Rome?
Well, does orthodoxy say we have to kill people because of God's word?
And how many Orthodox terrorists are currently running rampant across the West?
Another really good question.
People who have been important. I'm going to make the comparison, and I know my honourable friend opposite doesn't like to have historical comparisons, but they matter. We learn from our history. But the Christians, in 1204, sacked and pillaged and destroyed Constantinople. They stole things. They took...
Oh, good. I'm glad we brought up the Fourth Crusade.
800 years ago, we did a bad. Well,
800 years ago? No. Whoa. You know about the Fourth Crusade, right?
I do.
It's not we did a bad. The Venetians used the Crusaders, who couldn't afford to get to the Holy Land, and therefore took out essentially like a loan for the Venetians. They used them to sack Constantinople, their main trading rival.
That they did.
Not exactly like a theological dispute there.
It's a rather immediately economical one.
It's fucking mad.
Things, some of them you can still see in Venice today. When in 1453, the 21-year-old Mehmet II took Constantinople, do you know what he did? He wrote down some of the great works of Western literature, scholarship, and philosophy so that they were preserved.
Wow.
He turned the Hagia Sophia into a mosque.
Yeah, and what else did he do in Constantinople at the time?
I mean, killed everyone.
Killed everyone, disassembled the ruling class over there, turned the Hagia Sophia into a mosque, instituted the highly illiberal orders upon the survivors.
But for some reason, none of this is a concern to Jacob.
None of this is a concern, but...
for some reason, Jacob is in favor of the Turkish conqueror.
Because you will also know...
the Turkish conqueror of Constantinople.
The Christians sacked Constantinople in 1400, yet it was still there to be conquered by the Muslims in 1500. Where is Constantinople today, Mog? I think you will.
Shit, man.
I think you will find it has changed name a little bit.
He had ancient manuscripts copied for their preservation. These are documents that might otherwise have been lost to us.
He stole knowledge from the people he conquered, correct?
Yeah, the Romans were just going to destroy their own documents, Jacob.
Yes, but, well, they did this specifically to save the documents, I'm sure.
Yeah. The Romans are like, I'm tired of all these fucking documents we got. Should we just put them in the fire? And Mehmed was like, no!
No!
I must take Constantinople to prevent them from burning these documents!
Yep. He mobilized 100,000 men to save those documents.
That's literally what you're going to have to believe if Jacob Rees-Mogg is not talking shit.
It was not conquest. It was not to further Islam. It was not to continue 1,000 years of aggressive expansion on behalf of Islam.
And this is the Muslim dream, is taking Constantinople. I mean, the Arabs seized Constantinople multiple times and failed. Like, they've been trying to take Constantinople for, like you say, over 1,000 years. You know, but it was to save some documents that otherwise wouldn't have been preserved.
Yes, the Ottoman Turks had been bashing their heads against the Byzantium for hundreds of years preceding this.
Yes. The Arabs, like, was it 760 or something like that, besieged it. Then again in 790, and I think there's another one in the 800s as well. Like, constant wars of aggression from the Arabs. But no, Islam's not, from Muslims, from the Arab Muslims. Nothing to worry about, though. Nothing to worry about. Are you mad?
Furthermore, if this is some unique Muslim tradition, again, the Crusaders took the city 100 years prior. Why didn't they burn the scrolls?
Yeah, well, I mean, they started the Latin Empire, which was short-lived, but, like, you know, they thought, okay, we're going to rule this because we're Christians.
And to Western civilization. So my starting point on this suspicion is we should, of course, not be suspicious, because there are times when freedom of religion, recognizing what other people can do, has benefited our way of life.
Yes, the Muslims took this city from us and then graciously allowed us to read the documents they copied. Thank you. Thank you.
What kind of argument is this?
I don't know. It's a really bad one.
And
like I said, recently I have not been impressed with Mog at all, and this is just really, really hammering that point home.
Yep.
An unapologetic advocate for our way of life. Because when you go back...
Also for Islam.
And you roll on for the next...
Is there a difference between our way of life and Islam in your mind, Jacob? Would it be good if Islam was the majority way of life in Britain? Would that then be our way of life? Just out of interest.
In 150 years, Constantinople was the greatest, the richest, the cleanest, the most civilized city in the world. We were a backwater in comparison. But how did we succeed? What made us work? What made us work is that we developed a constitutional system of which we should be immeasurably proud and which is so strong.
A constitutional system. Now, I'm a little rusty on my English history, but I think the Constitution was written a little bit after the 1400s.
Well, it's been a work in progress for 1,000 years. So our constitutional system is always in flux. It's not one time period. Like, it's not like the Americans. We don't have a document, right? So, like, our constitutional system, there are times when it can be strong, but there are times when it is weak. And when it is weak, we change it. Like, this is what the Magna Carta is. This is what habeas corpus is. This is what the Bill of Rights is. Like, these are times where the constitutional system has not succeeded in doing what we want it to do. And so we changed it. Like, but the thing is, this relies on us having our own country.
And this here thing too, this idea that the Arabic world was vastly ahead of the Middle Ages Europe. This is an entirely Orientalist worldview that is based almost solely on fiction.
Yes.
There were things that the Arabic world had that were superior to ours. They did, for example, have a better understanding of hygiene earlier than us. They did have superior numbers. Correct. We had numbers too, but theirs were easier to read. And they had a better grasp of astrology earlier than us, but when it came to things like building societies, maintaining wisdom, and rediscovering what we'd lost, no, they did not have some enormous advantage.
But also, even if they did, so what? Doesn't mean we shouldn't be suspicious of Islam, because it's not like us, and it wants to change the things that you're saying you're so proud of, Jacob. You're like, oh, I love our system so much. It's like, okay, but they don't.
Yes.
They don't love our system. That's why they're bringing Sharia.
This thing that he claims that we should be so proud of, again, it brings it back to constitutionalism. No. That's an English thing. That's mostly an English thing. The Poles didn't defeat the Islamic invasion in the 1600s because of their constitution. Vienna didn't resist the siege. We didn't defeat them at the Battle of Lepanto because of our constitutionalism.
No, weirdly, it was because of our religion.
Yes.
It was our commitment to Christianity, Jacob. I would have thought you'd have been a bit more hot on that.
That we can afford to have 6% of the country being Muslims without worrying about it at all. They are welcome fellow citizens. They are not.
What happens when it's 8%, and 12%, and 15%, and 30%? Ask Lebanon. What happens? What's it like?
Well, in fact, we know exactly what happens.
Yeah, exactly. We do. Yeah.
This is what happens. They elect their own leaders based on their own identitarian policy and religion. And those leaders then begin instituting laws and organizations based upon their values that they were elected for.
Have you seen the example of Hamtramck in America? It's a relatively small town that was colonized by Muslims, and they took it over. And they just started instituting all sorts of Islamic ordinances, like women can't get elected onto the local council and stuff like that. And there was this woke feminist woman who was there saying, well, yeah, we helped them get to where they are, and then they just stabbed us in the back, and we feel really betrayed about it. And it's like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? Why did you think they were going to be on your side?
Yep, they're not on your side, and they don't want, like, Mark, you may wish to coexist with them. They do not wish to coexist with you.
And the thing is, as well, right? They believe God told them to do this, right? And it's at the cost of their immortal souls. Like, you don't have anything of any equivalent value to offer them in negotiation, to make them compromise on any of this stuff. You've got nothing compared to what they think they've got. Like, you don't even understand these people.
Because our constitution will not allow Sharia law to become the law of the land. A democratic Westminster Parliament will not vote for that. So fear...
Majority!
And yeah, a democratic Westminster Parliament will not vote for that until they become a sufficiently large percentage of your country.
Yeah.
And then,
this is
what is your argument?
Lebanon's experience. This is literally the experience of Lebanon in the 80s.
And as a theoretical, Mark, let's say that the democratic Westminster Parliament is now majority Muslim, and they do vote for this. What is your argument? Are you simply just going to say, well, this is the process of democracy, we must accept it?
Yes, that is exactly what he would say. That is, there was nothing we could do. We had to stick by our values, our democratic values, and therefore the electorate has spoken, and therefore we now will just have to become a Muslim nation. They're the words that will come out of Jacob Rees-Mogg's mouth. I fucking guarantee it. Bookmark this for like 30 years when this actually comes up. And Jacob Rees-Mogg is a little old man, and he's like, well, we just have to accept it now. Is it? Yeah, I fucking called it. I knew you were going to say this, Jacob.
And again, this brings us right back to the paradox of tolerance. Infinite tolerance will inevitably lead to the destruction of the tolerant.
Not. And what goes on in Iran is not what is going to happen in Westminster. So all these things...
But what is preventing that, Mog?
Yeah, why do you think that?
We've heard
why do
about...
you think this is impossible?
Terrible punishment that apply in Islamic countries is for the birds. That is not going to be applied in the United Kingdom or in the United States or across Europe. We're going to be able to keep our way of life, have confidence, have faith. Now, confidence and faith, I give way to the honourable
only while we have the demographic majority.
Mm-hmm.
If we allow them to become a demographic majority, then that's not true, Jacob. And you must know this. Like, I'm not saying anything fucking radical here. It's self-evident from the nature of what democracy is. I mean, your argument is predicated on us having superior numbers. If we don't have superior numbers, mate, then your argument is wrong.
There is no legality of Sharia law in this country as law. And did you know this is one of our most ancient statutes that is still on the statute book? The 1267 Statute of Marlborough makes it illegal for justice to be given out in this land by any court other than the King's courts. It is still the law of the land. It is one of the shortest acts of Parliament. It is our law. It makes our law equal for everybody in this country. And anyone who has Sharia law applied to them may apply to the King's court to have it disapplied. I'll give way again.
Your government used to charge for service in 2000.
That only works while the people who are running the courts, running the legal system, running the political system agree with it.
Heresy's the question.
Like Mog is acting like this is some sort of timeless writ.
Yep.
100 Sharia tribunals in the UK. You put two Muslims ahead of it, 50% on the panel of Muslims, and we were advised we can't vote on that. This is by your rules.
I know the point. I will happily answer this. They are tribunals, that's the point. They are not compulsory law.
But there's the thing. So he goes like, we will not have foreign courts in our country. And then he goes, well, there are foreign courts in our country.
But you don't have to follow them. Trust me, bro.
You don't
but
have to follow them.
Imagine being a Muslim woman in a Muslim community where everyone's like, right, you've got to go to the Sharia court and receive a judgment. And you're like, yeah, no, I didn't agree with that judgment. I'm going to appeal higher to the British court. Okay, legally, yeah, sure, you can do that. What do you think her response is like in the Muslim community? Do you think she becomes a pariah? Do you think she gets treated? Oh, they'll say, well, I guess so. You know, that's the law of the land. Shrug. Yes. I guess that supersedes God's law.
Yes. Do you think the Muslims will act like you, Jacob, and simply say, well, that's the law, so we must abide by it?
Yeah, it's just the way it goes.
But that's a majority of his speech as well, and it's the most important part. And it's fucking weak. It is literally just, he doesn't make any arguments for why the system is resilient, because he can't. He simply clings to the wreckage of liberalism and goes, but I like this thing. Great, we all like this thing, Jacob, but it's failing.
Yeah, I don't want it to fail, Jacob, but like... The weakness of the system is what we have to address in your argument here. Mm-hmm. It is actually that the system is not resilient enough to withstand mass demographic change.
Yes.
It's if the people change, the laws change with them, Jacob.
Yes. And if that is true, then our system isn't permanent at all. It isn't built on anything. It is simply built upon the majority opinion of the people. And if we are indeed being replaced, as we can see, Western birth rates continue to decline as we bring in infinite numbers of migrants. Yeah, Luton is the example. And then you, Mog, in your countryside castle, will then stare down the filthy peasant worker, Tommy Roberts, and says, well, I haven't noticed anything. The 800 Muslims that live in my constituency hasn't been a problem.
Yeah, it's not a problem for me. Oh, great.
I've experienced none of these issues. Well, it's because you're 80,000 Muslims short.
Yep.
But all right, I want to get to the super chat before we take too much time.
Mm-hmm.
We almost got through all of it. Well, sort of.
Well, I'm glad we did, because fuck me, was it frustrating.
Yes. So Dr. Doppelganger. I'm sick to death of the double standard. Leftists can openly call for revolt and murder, whereas if we even vaguely allude to anything in the same zip code, channels get banned and our own side calls are fed. Yeah, no, again, like, that's the thing. That's the reality of the situation. When Mog is like, well, I'm shocked that you guys weren't more strong on this topic. It's because they legally can't. There are consequences for them.
Also, they've just been threatened with death, Jacob.
Yes. Like, again, the fear in the audience when Lawrence Fox was about to hold up that picture, that is what they need to deal with. That butt-clenching terror that made you rise out of your chair for the first time to object to that picture.
Yeah.
That is just Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so infuriating.
MJ Bull, given everything that has happened in the past half century, plus how can anyone disagree with the idea of being merely suspicious of Islam? Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Again, the very notion that we need to debate whether or not we should be suspicious of foreign ideologies is...
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's patently absurd, obviously so.
Yeah.
Mr. Bob.
But also, as if there's no track record with Islam. As if this is just a brand new ideology that's descended. That's our first interaction with this strange thing called Islam. Never heard of it. Oh, I don't know anything about it. I guess I'll read its doctrines and I'll just, in the abstract, make some assumptions about it. No. We've got concrete history with this, and we know about it through experience.
Mr. Bob, has Arch punished Sargon for his crimes yet, or are you going to leave that to the footfish? They have been forgiven. Charles the Beagle, interesting about social media is that it has exposed normals to debate mostly by Christians and Islam, and every time that Muslims have been found wanting where this same academic prowess was during the new atheism debates?
Yeah, it's interesting how tepid the new atheism debates seem. Like Sam Harris going, I look up into the sky and I can't see God. And it's like, yes, because God exists outside of the universe. I mean, this is just such basic knowledge of the concept of God. Like, and somehow Sam Harris doesn't understand that God is a transcendental concept.
Well, it's simply because Christianity didn't feel comfortable in pushing back against this. It was understood by everyone as an a priori good that we were moving towards a rational position. And this was held even by the Christians who believed like, okay, well, I have my beliefs. And it's always like you feel guilty about it. Like if you talk to Christians, Christians to believe, most of them will be embarrassed by it. Like, yes, I know, my silly little ideas.
Yeah. And I've said this to Christians as well. It's like, look, until you're at the point where you can't tolerate any of this, nothing will change.
Yes. Harry the Human Substitute Renka. Almost forgot, Sargon. I have a question for you. Do I send a parcel to the Lotus Eaters to your personal P.O. box? Is this one specific for the Lotus Eaters? There was a P.O. box on your Akkad Daily channel, I think.
Well, I probably haven't paid for that for years, so do the Lotus Eaters one.
Kiefer Brown, far-right scoundrel Sargon has no compassion for the world's most marginalized, deprived community. Paid-up members of the Pondering channel on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, folks, it's been really busy recently, right? I have been, I moved house, and that means I've had to get my, I've got my new office, which is my garage, all converted out. I've literally just finished it. I had a sink installed today, in fact, which is the second to last thing. The last thing is some AC, but I can still work without the AC. I will be getting painting videos back together. I will be getting this. I will be doing these in the near future. I literally just wasn't able to until very recently. So do forgive me, but the Pondering content will return. I promise. I promise.
Might even be seeing some painting of our own stuff in not too long, chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting great models made.
Yeah, as soon as that sends me something, and my painting is top notch at this point. Like I'm very proud of how good my painting is. Not to be egotistical about it, but I've worked really hard on it. I'm confident that I'm a half decent painter at least.
Definitely not a Frenchman. Hey, Arch, have you told Sargon about Dark Sun? Ah, yes. Dark Sun, the D&D setting. Do you know of it?
I do. Dark Sun was the very first game of D&D that I ever played. I was about 13, 14 years old at school. I was invited to a D&D club, and I started a wizard. And within moments, I'd had my fingers broken in a slave raid. And I was just like, oh, so I can't cast spells. I was like, right, okay, how do I get this fixed? And apparently we didn't have a cleric. So it was just like, okay, I wasn't terribly impressed with it, but I do like Dark Sun as a setting because it's so different and grim dark. But I heard that they're taking slavery out of it.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about the slave raids anymore because slavery doesn't exist in Dark Sun anymore.
Yeah, that's demented.
Yeah, the wizard kings all came together and went like, we are pretty monstrous beings. We're destroying the earth, we're ravaging the land, we've genocided billions, but slavery, we can do better.
It's so pathetic, isn't it?
It's fucking sad. It's idiotic. And again, it's driven purely by current year sensibilities, because there is no in-universe argument for this at all. It's just, well, this is a taboo subject. We can't touch it, because if we do, it'll be like we held up a picture of Muhammad.
Yeah, it's literally.
Sanders, breakfast with Bo has been making me whistle the intro theme at work. Sargon, please let Bo know he's the English Kratos by being bald with the beard.
I will do.
Carson Casimir, America started to feel this. They told us to fight them over there so we don't have to fight them over here. That worked out well. And then the fuckers are bringing them over here. That's not mentioning the Caliphate. That is Durban, Michigan. Yeah, the whole doctrine of fighting them over there, that didn't work.
No, I think it was Dearborn, Michigan.
Yep, Dearborn, Michigan. Mikkel, I feel like Christianity has been shaded with a lot of Islam ills because of the idea of all religions are equal. A extreme Christian doesn't blow himself up. Yeah, no, there is no comparison between the two, really. And, like, this is also to one of the detriments of Christianity, because Christianity has repeatedly made concessions in order to be able to coexist in the modern world. Christianity has updated itself, and it has modernized frequently. Islam fucking hasn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of has. The current strain of Islam, the Sunni orthodoxy in Islam, is a response to the Enlightenment. Right, because it became apparent that the British Empire and Napoleon were making Islam liberal, and so it's not just in one area either. There were lots of different areas of Islam where they have this reactionary tendency against it, and so the Islamic Reformation was to be more orthodox towards what Muhammad was like in his life, rather than adapt to liberal priors. Did Arch disappear?
He did. He went to fetch himself a sandwich.
Ah, right, okay.
But he has returned now.
Oh, that's good.
Sir John, Vlad Tepes had the right idea. We need to adopt this tactic vigorously and liberally. Oh, bad neighbors make good fences. Bass player, slavery in those 12 centuries as well. Sagarin Moore, have you seen the Monty Python boxing match skit? A boxer knocks out a professor in a ring and is declared a new Oxford Professor of Fine Arts. I mean, like, honestly, that's kind of what the sociology thing feels like. It's like the existing professors have kind of been out-finessed by this newfangled thing that they don't understand and they don't want to understand, and they feel like they'll be considered idiots if they don't understand it, and so they just nod along and go like, well, yes, racism. Tobin Russell, I have worked to 60 hours a week since January this year, Jesus, and now it's time to reap what I have sown and enjoyed the rest of the year off. Praise be selling my labor at wages have agreed, and praised be to Texas not having income tax.
God.
I don't want to live in Texas.
I can't even imagine.
I really want to live in Texas.
I mean, I don't want to live in Texas. I just really don't want to have to pay income tax.
Yeah, Qatar, between this, the H1B thing, and Carmelo getting his damned appeal, we should re-establish the old empire. I'm willing to have some kind of sport with England for who gets to run it this time. The Anglo Empire. Just the West. The West just needs to have its balls back.
Well, I mean, ultimately, every empire is an Anglo Empire, really.
Ah, yes, the Barbary Wars. The rest of the world says, yes, we will pay you. Just stop attacking us. Meanwhile, the US, beg pardon, you can fuck off. Yep. Carson Kazmiri, the very first version of the US Marine Corps, goes from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Our creation was expressively to fight them.
Yes.
Rubber legs. I've always said it. Christianity converted by conversation and words. They convert by warfare and conquest.
Well, I mean, Christianity converted by conquest plenty. But it's not a part of Christian doctrine to do that.
Yes. Unironically, the Christians have a far better argument for the that's not real Christianity than the Muslims do.
Yeah, I mean, loads of the Christians, and I don't just mean like rando Christians, like the entire Orthodox wing of Christianity refused to engage in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just like, no, that's not how it works.
And hey, don't get me wrong, if there was a Christian power out there that was today just randomly aggressing upon all of its neighbors, I would have been suspicious of that as well. Daddy's Belt, it took the wrong turn in Baltimore the other day. Was horrified to see a mosque that was built like a fort, barbed wire and all. This foreign force needs to be cast out and our leaders made destitute for what they have done.
Yeah. Did you see Gabe Newell, by the way?
The Chad Newell?
Well, no, he's lost loads of weight.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one. Chad Newell.
Like, he looks great. And it's just like, holy shit. Gabe Newell, we might get another 20 years, mate.
Yep.
Like, he's the one thing holding up PC gaming.
I think he understood the tremendous weight upon his shoulders.
I hope so. Like, because there is a tremendous weight upon his fucking shoulders.
Yep.
Like, he is literally the only thing keeping PC gaming alive. Can you imagine what it would be like if Steam turned into, like, you know, which one was it that deleted the Lord of the Rings game and were like, nah, fuck you, you're not having a refund?
Amazon.
Like, yeah, Amazon, right. I don't even... What are we going to do without Steam? And I'm not even joking. No hyperbole. Like, what are we actually going to do? I don't know what I'd do without Steam.
We are going to suffer, that's why.
No, but I don't have a plan for life without Steam. I'm not joking.
None of us do.
I have become so phenomenally dependent on our Lord Gaben that I actually don't know what my plan would be if he died and it became like fucking Disneyfied.
On the bright side, like, right now we can kind of rest assured, like, okay, he's old. That is actually a good sign these days, because that means that he hasn't done the things that kill all of the young people.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's clearly figured out what he thinks things should be and isn't going to change it. That's great. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, 20 years, maybe 20 years before we have to worry about it. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's not bad innings. But I'm going to be in my fucking 60s. What am I going to do then?
Just the other day, Hayden Panettiere, the actress who played in Heroes, who gave her face to character in Mass Effect, I forget her name now, Miranda? 36-year-old, died of a heart stop, apparently.
Vaccinated?
Oh. No. Just like you refuse to be drawn on the Judaism question, Sargon, I refuse to be drawn on this.
Yeah, well, I mean, sensible, frankly. But yeah, no, I didn't get vaccinated, so thank God.
God, I hope Gaben hasn't taken it. MacLeod Martin Luther addressed this centuries ago, yet sadly, we have forgotten.
We're not talking about any of Martin Luther's writings today, thank you.
Kidnapped Jack has become a member. Thank you very much. Marksman Art started fun for the T-55 in Vegas. I'm not going to be there long enough. I'm not going to have it up
T-55 in Vegas? What's happening?
Apparently, Las Vegas has like a crazy shooting range where you can fire a tank.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah. The chat wanted me to go there, but I'm not going to have time to go there.
What are you going to Las Vegas for?
Just a one-day event.
Oh no, you told me about that the other day. Yep. Yeah, that would be fun.
Which, speaking of, I should remember to plug that whilst we're doing it as well. As we do indeed have the event in Vegas this September. I'll pin a link to it. Where we do still have tickets left if anyone is interested, as I think it will be a pretty damn cool event.
Yeah, you gotta go. Also, you gotta click like.
That too. You gotta click like.
How many likes have we got?
898. We're still 100 short of 1,000.
Come on! We've been giving you gold in this stream. It's been a brilliant stream. What's going on?
That is true. The strident condemnation of Mog is worth it. And honestly, okay, right.
God, yeah.
What we need is for Jacob Rees-Moggs to go to Oxford and demand Sargon so that he can see the hard right he's been wanting.
Well, I mean, I'd happily do that, but I keep getting cancelled every time I get invited, so stop fucking inviting me.
He wants to see the hard right, but he needs to understand that if he wants to see the hard right, he's going to have to fucking demand they can show up and not get cancelled every time.
Yeah, that's not too much to ask.
Mr. Free Speech Mog, Mr. Liberal Western Democracy.
Yeah, no, he's not. Like, Callum went to an event where Mog was there, and he asked him about Candancula. And Mog was like, yeah, it's a shame, but he's a bad example because he's an evil meanie head.
Oh,
and
he's a meanie head.
Yeah, no, literally. It was like, no, it's just politically, not good. And it was, oh, okay, it's like that, is it?
And, okay, right, here's the thing as well.
Free speech when it's a convenient political football.
Yeah, like the Moggian idea of the heightened standard of political discourse. Fine, I like this. I think this should be the standard. However, it's not. Hasn't been for a very long time. The opposition don't hold themselves to this standard. And if you do, you're only going to get rolled over.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely want us to have decorum, for there to be proper gentlemen in politics, all of that shit, but our opposition doesn't, and if we do, we are the only ones who lose out.
Yeah, we haven't had that for a very long time either.
Yes. The old gentleman agreements have disappeared a long time ago. We can all agree they were superior to what we have now, but that doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
It is that unfortunately simple. Kidnap Jack sent 5 gifted ArchCast memberships. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Matt, Islam is bad. Islam is great. Don't care. Get them all out there. They can argue about the greatness of Islam in their own countries.
Exactly. Why are we having this conversation?
Yep. Yeah, this conversation isn't happening in Tehran. They've figured it out already. They don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. They've
Only
already decided they know.
And why? Because we're currently in the process of being conquered. That's why.
Insufferable, isn't it?
Charlie the Beagle, least we forget the true creator of the Romanian deadlift, Vlad Tepes, for there are many called the Great, but only one called the Impaler.
Good point.
Sanders, breakfast. Oh, right, one. Ziloxon, I should have shown the real pic. That was a coward move. No. That was a power move. He could have shown the real pic, and then everyone would have just sighed and like, that's expected. But by showing the caricature, he points out the fear and the ridiculousness of it.
Yeah, he nailed them because now they have revealed their hand. Because if he had showed a picture of Muhammad, the Muslims might have started flipping out. And then like, see, I was right. I was justified. You shouldn't have done that. You did it to be deliberately provocative, blah, 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 blah. They'd attack Lawrence Fox.
Yes.
But now they just look like fucking idiots.
Yeah. Because again, Mog would have literally, he would have held Lawrence Fox to a greater standard. He would have said, like, you shouldn't have done that. That was mean of you. Regardless of whether or not he would then be physically attacked for it.
Yeah.
But now, Moggs has nothing. Moggs was the one who was afraid. Moggs tried to stop it, and now he has no argument. MJ Bull, the leaders of Christianity, when exposed to a Muslim concept of heaven, thought it incredibly blasphemous as a hedonistic pit.
That's exactly what it is. That's all it is.
It is.
We're going to get you loads of wine and women. Okay. Am I a 7th century barbarian? Oh, I guess I must be.
MacLeod, back during the 50s, there was a polycule of men who wrote fake reports citing each other's bad-mouthing Kai Shek to help the CCP. Poly leads leftism. Zodoxon, Mark's actually, have you guys seen the teaser trailer of Space King 5, which announced the release date? Can we spare 30 seconds to watch it? Last time I watched one of those, I got a copyright claim, so...
Oh, but I have seen it. And yeah, I look forward to it. I like Space King.
And so locks on, if I mock Christianity, nothing happens. If I mock Islam, someone dies. If Christianity wants to survive, they need to project the same energy, otherwise the Chad Muslim will be raping Western daughters forever. Well, no, like, this is the thing. We don't need to be like, oh, mock Christianity, we're going to hurt you. We need to simply be, Muslims aren't allowed to hurt people when we mock them, stridently.
Yeah.
That needs to be crushed.
Yeah. And we just shouldn't tolerate it.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, oh, you're going to threaten someone for doing something we think is fine. Get out of our civilization. Deport.
Silly Sailor, hello. For the Isle of Lewisland of the MacLeods, the age of AI is overstated. I'm old enough to remember when blockchain technology was the future.
Yeah, I agree. I think everyone's panicking too much about it now. I was a bit worried at first as well, but nah, it's fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good tool. I think it will upend society, majorly so, and...
Well, no more than, like, the internet, right? Like, there are changes, but you get used to them, and you adapt, and you carry on.
Tanushi, Estonians are a Finnic people. Despite their Danish, Swedish, and Russian occupation, the others are Baltic. Slavs in the region are colonizers.
Yeah, but I didn't think that the Estonians and that, I didn't think they were fucking Germanics.
We're not Germanics, we're Scandinavians. We're completely different.
Scandinavians are Germanics.
Nope.
Yes, they are.
No, we're not.
I mean, you literally are, but...
Our history was way better. We've done way better. We have deviated. We've created our own grouping.
Germanic is a family of languages.
Nope. We reject this.
Well, I'm afraid you don't, because your language is so similar to the other Germanic languages.
Only superficially. We don't... They're just crass and rude and stuff. We're better.
I mean, you can object to their social customs and whatnot, but it doesn't change anything else.
Plus, we've never started a war with the entire world before.
Losers.
Carson Casimiri, I-7 in Az is the Charlie Kirk Memorial Highway. Charlie Kirk Memorial Highway.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's good. But there should be a lot more.
MacLeod, enemies in our midst undermined the Kirk push to actively go after them. We have rooted out more We have to root out more rhinos in the party. Now it's the influences. Yes.
Oh, I know.
So what killed Gamergate was basically the fact that it was a very loose coalition of a lot of people who had generally the same enemy at the time, but then they very swiftly looked around and realized that they didn't agree with one another on a whole lot of things either.
Yeah, the tone policing libtards hurt Gamergate.
Yes. And the current day right wing has very much so a similar problem, where there's a lot of people on the right that don't really understand what's happening.
Yeah, don't listen to the tone policing libtards.
And there's
this
also
was the lesson from Gamergate.
There's also realistic points in all of this too. Like, the difficult point is we need to exist in a world where we can both be strident enough to be effective and also remain subtle enough to not be destroyed by the words.
Yeah.
And then you also do have people who actively work against it too. Like, the entire idea, for example, that we must respect the abilities for the opposition to say anything they want to do, to denigrate us however they want. No, we don't have to. They did not. We must apply the same standards to them.
Yeah. I mean, there's just no point marching to our own destruction in that way.
Yes. There's absolutely no reason to protect them from the consequences that our side have already suffered.
Yeah. There's just no reason to do it. Like, why would we do it? It's kind of crazy.
Akaban, 999. Stop eating Surströmming art. Balts are a different group than Finnic ethnic group. Nope. You're Scandinavians in
I thought
denial.
they were. No, I thought they were.
Look at your flag. It's basically the same as ours. Or was that the Latvians?
Sure.
Might have been the Latvians.
They're still Finns.
Well, Finns. Oof, that's disgusting. Don't call them Finns. That's even worse.
True.
There's no such thing as the Finns, by the way. There's no such things. The Finns are just Swedes in denial.
Oh my god, there are a lot of people in fucking denial in your world, aren't there?
No. The Finns genuinely are just Swedes in denial. Because there was nothing in Finland. Like, they were just some Mongolian fucking steppe tribe people, maybe, that were all conquered and destroyed, and the Swedish occupied them. That's why the most Finnish people understand and speak Swedish. But then they were like, hey, but we want to be independent. We want to embrace our fucking Slavic roots. They're not Slavs. They're Swedes.
No,
Swedes in denial.
I don't think they're Slavs or Germanics.
Oh, you're talking about the Sami now. They're the fucking Mongolians.
No. Like I think they are like all sort of. I don't know. I'd have to go look it up. But I don't think they're Germanics.
No, they're Swedes.
I don't think they are.
They are. God help me.
I'm just not convinced by this argument.
Behold, Slavs. They're fucking Swedes.
I don't know, man. The position of the eyes is a bit off.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, on the racial purity ladder, of which Norwegians, of course, reign at the absolute zenith, they are near the bottom edge, but they're still Swedes.
I don't know. I'm not convinced by this AI image.
We'll have a greater debate on this instead of the Oxford one. Something that actually matters. Are the Finns people? Darnegmo.
Just to be clear, I've got no strong feelings on the Finns at all. So,
good evening, Archworm. I hope things are well. If you could delve into such, what unit in your wargame is capable of killing a space marine? The Gar probably could kill a space marine, I imagine. Yeah.
Well, I mean, so could the Ashari.
Are you ready?
Gar and the Ashari would probably stand decent chances with energy weapons. The UEC would struggle. Honestly, the UEC would really fucking struggle.
Yeah, but the UEC wouldn't. The UEC would fight like the Imperial Guard, basically. So
yeah, they'd use a tank instead.
Yeah, they'd use numbers, weight of numbers, and material.
Wesson, Arch, how did Lum Lum appreciate your introduction of her to the FNT crowd? I don't know. Has she been introduced to the FNT crowd? Bass Play, very recent, South Park Season 5, episode Super Best Friend circa 2001, showing Muhammad was fine. 10 years later, for 201 Comedy Central, went over the head and censored him.
Yeah, well, that was before political correctness and before anyone knew anything about Islam, really.
Yes.
Like the West's own education on Islam was too poor for them to understand that they shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So no one thought about it, and there was no trouble. It's like, okay. And then as soon as someone thinks about it, it's like, oh no, it's trouble now. It's like, does it have to be?
Because surprisingly, South Park wasn't aired a whole lot in 2001 in the Arabic world.
Yeah, weirdly.
MJ Bull, the fact that JRM tried to block the cartoon on procedure should have been considered a concession. The proposition is correct.
It is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Mog's reaction is the concession. The proposition was correct.
Yep. Jeebus Milk, thank you for your donation, sir. Hey guys, so the ABC in Australia's national broadcaster just interviewed Hassan Piker and totally swept for him. Well, of course.
Of course they did.
I can't wait for our right-wing party to win, hold these people and institutions accountable.
God, if only.
Like, nobody is more astroturf than Hassan Piker. It's fucking remarkable.
Yeah. I'm sure he's bossing his views as well.
Who isn't? Except for us, idiots.
Well, yeah, literally us. The one people on the entire internet who don't bot their views. And you haven't even liked the stream yet, chat.
I'm fucking retarded for that. Bots would like it. We're only 40 likes short, chat. Only 40 likes.
We would literally pay the bots to like it, but no. We're trying to do the honest thing. So you've got to like the stream.
Honesty. It's such a terrible idea. I hate it.
It's a curse. It's a curse. The last honest men in a world full of fucking liars.
Charlie the Beagle. When I was in school at around 15, we had to learn about Islam in religious education. Safe to say, I very much got to the overly sanitized version. Oh, yeah, same. We had the same religious education in my school, and it was literally just, Islam is just a fluffy-wuffy religion. It loves peace and tolerance, and it's very Western.
There wasn't really much Muslim immigration when I was in school, so we didn't really learn that much about it. Nobody really cared about religious education either.
So locks on Doppelganger, fuck Allah. If you want to worship a bloodthirsty god, worship Gorn, or pray to Chaos Undivided. Correct. Alexander Cross, is it just me, or do the people that emphasize the S in Islam, but otherwise have no accent, come across as absolute nutballs?
Oh, it's like pretentiousness.
Yes, and you got to remember too, that is their culture. Okay, that is the thing they do. Yeah.
But it's like overly pronouncing French words. It's like, oh, fucking cringe.
12 Dirge, have you seen recent photo of Gabe? It looks like he's no longer have gravy in his veins. I know.
So good, isn't it?
Whatever, like, transformative surgery they're carrying out on him to keep him immortal, keep going.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Actually, I will contribute to the Golden Throne.
Yep. If it comes out tomorrow that the cost of keeping Gabe Newell young is like one child a day,
Utilitarian in me is like, well, I guess we got to.
Yeah, it'll make me a bit feel worse about opening Steam, but at the end of the day...
Yeah, what choice do we have?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot about how, like, children aren't really people until they're like 18 by lefty standards, so, yeah. MacLeod, I'll never forget the gender of the activist that pushed for the Islamic Republic to show up in Iran. Female. Ethan Grant. Hail Arch and Sargon, and for Conan. Bass player, can't remember who said this, but neither religion eats pork, therefore I don't care.
Yeah, I don't see why I should take it seriously.
Drow fighter, PDFs should be buried under the jail. A strident position. EU5 Sweden, Jesus. Charles the Beagle, Croatians and Egyptians, Coptic tattoos crosses on their kids, so if kidnapped and converted to Islam, they have a reminder of their original faith. Jesus.
It's such a tolerant religion.
So how do you deal with Islam? Well, we tattoo our children with crosses, just in case. Why
would you ever need to do that?
Trick or treat.
MJ Bull, the side attacking the prop ad hominem, no true Scotsman, whataboutism? Are they going for bingo on the fallacious argument card? Yes.
Yes. Anything other than address the point.
And 1,004 likes. Congratulations, chat. You did it.
Well done, chat.
You did it. You achieved the impossible. You are the best.
We appreciate you and love you.
And love you. More than we do other people.
Yes.
Each and one of you. I love Alex Adamson more than I love Kiefer Brown. And I love Kiefer Brown more than I love Alex Adamson, okay? You're all the foremost in my my assessments. Simultaneously. And universally. Trevor N., this guy's accent makes me want to 1776 again. Cool. MacLeod, acid and honor killings are freedom of religion? Well, yes. How else are they supposed to express their opinions publicly in the modern world? Oh, God. There was even... Okay, we didn't do it this one because I cut it for time, but there's even a point where they argue that Islam is the most oppressed religion in this. I'm like,
Oh, fuck off. Honestly. Oh,
yeah. It's absolute fucking complete nonsense.
Gall! The gall of it.
Guile Guy, it's like Ancient Aliens, except they give every human achievement to Islam. Yes.
Yeah.
And again, like, it's also so idiotic. Like, well, Islam preserved books 1,000 years ago. Like, okay, So your base, like, listen here, like Jacob Davis Moggs' entire argument is that we view Islam as if they're the orcs in Lord of the Rings. And when they decided on this one occasion to not act like a purely anti-civilizational force 1,000 years ago, we really should give them credit for withholding their baser instincts.
I mean, I'm not making any comment.
Fast player, didn't the British basically invent the company car because the taxes of post-war Europe were pure insanity? Yes. There was a whole thing about that, where cars were given as bonuses instead of raises because income tax was so crazy. So basically, if you were given a raise, you might hit the next tax bracket and the government came and took more money than you earned in the raise. But if you were given a car, then that wasn't income.
I mean, we're in exactly that position now, by the way. Like, we are in I mean, literally. There are people who are like, right, okay, I can get paid up to like £98,000 a year, but you can't pay me any more because then I go into a tax bracket and lose money.
Yep.
I mean, it's literally where we're at now.
Yeah, Qatar. The question about should we trust Islam is solved by tequila. If the religion approves of no encourages you to lie to the outsider, do not trust it. True.
Tequila.
Listen, I am a Westerner, and personally, I look at you with extreme suspicion by the fact that you know how to pronounce these words.
Well, I spent a lot of time reading about Islam.
And could you have been affected by this? Could you have been corrupted?
Well, I mean, I certainly was affected by it, but not in the way that I think that the pro-Muslim people would want. It's like, right, okay, there's no point debating this at all, is basically the conclusion.
Tick, tick, boom. Tolerance is the lube that helps slip the dildo's dysfunction into the ass of civilized society. Plato, probably.
Plato is so true. So real for that.
Largely correct.
Yeah.
Keb Dulo, the West is right, yo. Be suspicious of Islam. Yes, be suspicious of Islam. Urashima Otaro, the Arabic numerals are actually from India. Are they now?
Yeah, they didn't invent them, obviously.
B. Prince, your craftful is being conquered by the Sortek dynasty as part of the Overlord Trajan's benevolent archival project. Please do not resist. Yep. Listen, Constantinople, you've got to stop burning these documents, or else.
Yeah, or else we're going to conquer you. It's such a fucking stupid argument.
Simulation, 1158. We had the Communist Control Act in the 50s. Do we need a Muslim Act now? Put this 5-0 from Arknights. What is our position on the calendar? That is a good question. Neil is currently, I believe, at the very last place. Yes, she's number 12 right now. 150.
By the way, did we get an update on the Henry Cavill 40k Amazon series?
Not beyond that Mike Flanagan will write it.
Right. Okay.
Which,
do you like Mike Flanagan?
No, not really. He's the guy who said that he wishes to put more subversion in his entertainment.
Oh, great.
It's also like I'm working on this half-formed script idea that horror probably can't work in 40k because so much of horror is predicated on fear of the unknown, and the moment it becomes known, a lot of the fear disappears. And the problem with 40k is we know pretty much everything.
Also, horror is predicated on powerlessness.
Yeah, that is another problem too.
40k is a mega power fantasy.
Yes.
No, we created these incredible, indestructible space marines so we could kill everything in the galaxy, and the Imperium has the largest empire in the galaxy. It's not a horror setting. I mean, you could have horror settings in Warhammer, but they would have to be quite small, localized, like a planet's being taken over by Tyranids, and some little girl like aliens is running away from them or something.
Yes, and very specifically pivoted, because you'd basically, to get horror in 40k, you've got to strip away like 90% of 40k.
Well, you just have to have a protagonist that is not powerful, right? Which is all well and good, but the exciting parts of 40k are the power of the protagonists.
Service guarantees.
Like, there's a reason the Space Marines are the Space Marines.
Fluffy shirt. The people's right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, except in schools, or they have a magazine capacity of over 10 if the barrel length is too long, etc., etc. Yeah.
Just as the Constitution stipulated.
Also, I do love how we can infinitely, look in and judge Islam. Like, we can reread it 7,000 times because it's all just too vague. Like, you should stone the gays. Oh, I don't know what that means.
So open to interpretation.
Yeah, in the same way as this right shall not be infringed. It's like, oh, God, if only they'd been clearer.
Yeah, exactly. I tell you what I love about, was it the second, third, no, it's the second amendment, isn't it? Which one's the amendment for the guns?
It's the second, right?
Yeah. What I love about it is just how fucking clear it is. Like, shall not be infringed. That is crystal. Like, you cannot mistake what they're trying to say there. Like, the right to keep and bear arms. You will be able to own guns. Shall not be infringed. Any questions? No, not really. It's pretty straightforward.
MJ Bull, vigilance is required to maintain against Islam. Yes, against everything. Well, the thing is, Islam wouldn't even be a problem if it wasn't for leftism. Honestly, like, Islam in and of itself, if we were a decent, normal society, we would either have the purely Orientalist view of Islam, which is it's some fanciful desert religion of wise men, or we'd actually hear what Islam is and we'd go, fuck, that's horrific.
Yeah, I mean, that is literally what we did for hundreds of years, too.
Yes. Islam really isn't the biggest threat. It's leftism that is the biggest threat.
Yeah. Literally, for hundreds of years, we analysed Islam on its merits, and we're like, that's a bit rough.
Yeah.
And now, we can't stop ourselves from being spastic about it.
Yep. Silly Sailor, we have seen Sargon painting many times. I don't remember ever seeing Archer's miniatures. Or you're a terrible painter like me. I paint with a spray can.
Yeah, Archer's a bad painter.
Like, listen, I play Skaven. I spray them brown, and that's done. Fucking finished. Never seen the need to do anything else.
I just enjoy the process of painting.
Mr. Twisted Frenzy, all hail the God Emperor Gabe. May his reign be eternal. May it be eternal indeed.
Oh, I know. We need it to be. We fucking need it to be.
Akaban 9, if Steam fails, then GOG. Oh, that's owned by fucking CD Projekt Red, so no.
Is it?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
If all else fails, the high seas and old physical copies.
I don't have a fucking DVD drive, bro.
Yeah. Like, physical copies, like, you're not going to have physical copies. Like, can you even buy a DVD drive today?
I mean, I'm sure you can, but just why would you need to?
I mean, even then, you'd have to go to a specialized store, I'm sure. Like, if you go to your regular hardware store and ask if they've got DVD drives...
what century did you come out of?
Yeah. McWild 11, Hail Arch, tickle for the tickle god. Go to Vegas for Carolina Reaper. We need to see that. That will be recorded. Fear not. Beardmaster, I'm interested to go to an event in Las Vegas, but it's not clear what the event is about. It's like a TED Talk, it's more interactive, and we can speak with the guests. I do think that there will be a mingling portion, I'm fairly sure, but it's organized by Side Scrollers, so I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure there will be mingling portions.
Well, there's going to be panels, Q&As, stuff like that, right?
Stuff like that too, and I think Craig said something about doing some kind of games or something between the panelists. So... stuff will happen, and I'm sure there will be a mingling portion. At least I will definitely do a mingling portion.
There's bound to be I'd like to go and have a few beers portion.
Yes. Lords and Cross, what I'll be on the lookout for is those who will turn on the next Vlad, for another one is bound to show up soon. Traitors and cowards they'll be. GPS, within the next 3 years, Carl Benjamin Sargon, you are guilty of anti-Semitism by proxy due to considered association with Arch or the internet.
Well, yeah, doubtless. I mean, Jesus.
As Arch grows more strident,
like,
yes.
It's not even like Charlie Downs posted something on the internet the other day that got him in a lot of trouble, and now I'm guilty by proxy with him too. Yep. Like, everyone's guilty by proxy. We're all fucked.
Yes, it's true. My suspicion of Judaism grows as quickly as it does about Islam, so I am dangerous from that.
I'm not really in favor of any desert religion, though, to be honest.
No, true. Like, if we could just have, like, a full injunction against desert religions in general. Like, listen, it's a harsh and unforgiving environment. It's going to breed harsh and unforgiving people.
Yeah. It's like, I don't even blame them for having these things, because it
makes entirely sense.
Obviously is necessary in the places that they come from, but man, I don't come from there.
Listen, if I was living in a desert, I wouldn't eat pork either, okay? It would probably fucking kill me, but I don't, so...
Yeah, I can see the argument, you know what I mean? But not my problem, so why am I having to talk about it?
Lego, Ark should get Jake to give him a makeover.
Yeah, he should.
I think I'd look terrible like that, but...
You doubtless would.
Listen, I'm up for anything that's funny, so...
Exactly. Exactly. It'll just be a bit of fun.
Tanushi, Norway was a consolation prize for the Swedes after the Finnish. They lost Finland to Russia. Well, no. Bernadotte didn't give a fuck about Finland. That's the thing. He didn't give a shit. In fact, his Swedish advisors were shocked when he promised Russia that he wouldn't reclaim Finland if he got Norway. He wanted Norway far more than Finland. Bass player. Oh, yes. Bernadotte was, because he was French, he didn't give a fuck about the Swedish ancestral claim to Finland. And so he viewed Norway as a far more potent and powerful place to get because it had a longer coastline and more wood, as he viewed more long term.
If it helps, I don't know who this is.
God damn it. Past player. The Swedes created black metal and burned churches. The Finns drink coffee and dominate motorsports. Finns have a decent bit of black metal too, don't worry.
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, everywhere. Like, all white countries have a lot of black metal.
Yeah, and Norway invented black metal, screw you.
Did.
Yes. Archimedes, more GTA 6 leaks. And by the way, the leaks have kind of been a disaster for GTA because everybody's looking at it now and they're realizing, well, it's just a video game. And yes, it is just a video game. It looks like a GTA video game. But everybody has built up this hype now in their minds that this is going to be some transcendental fucking thing.
It's because GTA 5, I mean, it was a very impressive game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't personally play it, but I know a lot of people did, and they thought it was fucking brilliant. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm sure it's great, I'm sure if you're into that kind of thing, GTA 5 is fucking incredible.
Alex Anderson, I was also given the religious education stuff. Fortunately, this was the era of Deus Vult memes, so the boys were too busy Crusader maxing to learn. Good. Zeluxon, Mog is either actually retarded or a paid plant. There's no other option. Oh no, there is another option. He's just fucking old.
Yeah, and he's completely isolated from the consequences of his luxury beliefs.
Yes. Like, he's just a very old man who has been left behind by, like, 20 years.
He's not that old. He looks older than he actually is. I think he's only in his 50s.
Damn!
It's his aesthetic. Yeah, well, check. I don't think he's actually that old.
Age. He's 57. Okay, yeah, no, he looks a lot fucking older than he is.
Yeah, it's the aesthetic.
Mr.
That's the point. He's just a very insulated man.
Apparently, you can still legally own 1800s cannons. And why not?
Great.
Silly Sailor, Event Horizon is a 40k prequel and top horror film. But here's the thing.
I love it.
Event Horizon, why is it a horror? It's because you don't know what's going on. It's the unknown. And we then can look and go, well, that's chaos. Now, if you did that in a 40k setting, it wouldn't be nearly as horrible because the moment something bad happened, you wouldn't be like, oh, what's that? You'd be, oh, that's chaos. In fact, that's Khorne specifically.
Oh, look, it's a plague bearer.
Yes.
Yeah.
There'd be no horror there. You'd just be like, oh, it's a plague bearer. It's a minor demon of Nurgle. Yes.
Yeah. I know exactly the strength and toughness of that enemy.
Yes.
I know what its saving throw is.
That's a trash mob, actually. Meant mostly to bog down enemies.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. So combine that with the inherent power fantasy of Warhammer, and it's just like, this isn't going to work, bro.
Yep. Zen Goodman, the Libs trying to get around that in the Second Amendment. They said that the militia meant the military, and so the army had a right to guns.
Oh, yeah, that requires an amendment. Say your army has a right to guns.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's for. Because people are like, oh, I don't know if the army should have guns, bro. God, you'd have to be a fucking retard to believe that, wouldn't you?
MacLeod.
You said it by accident.
MacLeod. As a Loxon, without Steam, we would have to lobby against the industries and sue a lot, or else violence against companies that pull shit. No, here's the thing. What's going to happen is the companies are going to take over Steam. They're going to start instituting shit. Yeah. There'll be pushback initially, and the company will go like, oh, okay, back off. Then they'll wait a year, then they'll do it again. Yeah. And every garbage thing you can imagine will be pushed through within a decade.
Oh, it's so true. Like, we don't realize how fucking pro-consumer Steam is until it changes.
Yep.
Like, we will not appreciate Gabe until he's gone, basically.
And
I mean, I'm doing my best to appreciate him now. You know, like spreading the word. No, Gabe is our god. If you want decent gaming on the PC, God, you got to support Gabe.
And I'll sit there as a 70-year-old beating the drum and going, no, you don't understand what we've lost.
Yes.
And nobody will listen.
I unironically will do this.
Zen Gunman, the Militia Act of 1903 stipulated that every adult male between certain ages is a member of the unorganized militia. Wow. Akaban store sells DVD drives. Don't know about Blu-ray ones, though. And, okay, bud, is the Vampire RP coming back? Yes, it is. It's coming back the 26th, I believe. 26th? No. 23rd? I need to check, but it's not cancelled. It's just schedules. And finally, Saloxon, not tolerating Muslims hurting people requires government action. Christians act like Muslims does not. Christians acting like Muslims do not. True. Basically, if your religion requires the government to crack down upon you, your religion bad. It's not particularly difficult.
That's the last 500 years of Christian heresies condemned. That's a very pro-Catholic position.
Maybe it has some things to
That's literally everything from the Protestant Revolution onwards.
And with that chat, we are at an end. We have covered all of the super chats, and we covered the debate as well. We went like an hour, 20 minutes over time, but you know.
Yeah, I've got to head off because I'm shattered and I've got work tomorrow. But good stream. I enjoyed it. Chat, well done. Pat yourselves on the back for getting to 1,000 likes.
That was excellent chat. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for your donations and your likes. And thank you, Sargon, for hanging out with me today. And let me just real quick check here. Ah, yes, no, it's this week will be the campaign, the 23rd. So this Sunday again. Right. And so, good night, chat.